Hello, YouTube. Hey guys, welcome to yet another fun live stream. It is Friday, November 6th, and looking forward to getting you guys questions. You guys know the format. I've got like one topic that I'm gonna talk about tonight, based on a question I got from a viewer. But really, again, it's all about you. So feel free to throw those questions out there. As long as you're asking questions, I am gonna hang around and answer them. So let's see, who do we have in the house tonight? So of course the usual suspects are there. Josh Morrow, uh, LG, of course, Mario, Ned. Welcome, guys. Thanks for stopping, and I appreciate it. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, guys. It should be a fun one. Hopefully everyone is staying safe. The weather's starting to get cold here in Georgia. It's kind of funny. I mowed this morning, and I think not this week's update because I've already filmed. I filmed it like a couple days ago, but next week's update where I'm doing that series where I'm showing you guys the transition of Bermuda going from green to dormant, like comparing the Tifway 419 and Arden 15. You're going to see more of a change, not next week's update, but the following week. Because today I was mowing and there's some brown starting to set in, guys. So not happy. Wasn't happy about that. Actually, I mowed and very little actually came off the grass. So it definitely shows that the lawn is going into dormancy. Good evening. So Leonard, Chris, Taylor, welcome to the live stream. Welcome, guys. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your Friday evening and hanging out with me while you're here on your way in, while you're sitting down, getting your beverage of choice, perhaps a plate of nachos, whatever you're doing. Be sure to hit that like button on the way in because it sends good vibes to the YouTube algorithm. Lets them know that we are about to settle in for some fun lawn care discussion, and it will send more people our way. So I know LG has a question about adding some citric acid to a backpack spray. But I'm gonna get to that one later. I'll wait for him to ask it. But let's just get right into it. Let's see, what do we have here as far as questions? This looks like you see. It looks like Josh actually got his backpack sprayer out yesterday. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Josh. It is the flow zone is pretty awesome. So I'm glad that it is working well for you. That's pretty awesome. Oh, and guys, for everyone that was the winners last week, as far as the stickers that had to go out and the soil test kit, all of those should have been mailed. Or actually, the stickers I know have been mailed, and the soil test kit also went out the first part of this week too. So if you haven't gotten those as yet, you should be receiving them. Hopefully, the first part of next week. It shouldn't take that long. So I mailed them. I mailed the stickers Monday, and the soil test kit I believe also went out on Monday. So all good there. Just want to get that housekeeping done. Let you guys know that everything's out. It is now on the United States Postal Service to get your goodies to you. So let's get into the questions here. Let's look for the first one. We got some more from Jersey in the house. Always Jersey. All right. So Ricky's going to start us off tonight. Ricky says he seeded his lawn on September 30th. He added some more seed in mid-October, and now he's mowed twice. I have a sprayer and the recommended product. You're looking for a product recommendation. You have lots of wild buttercup and bad topsoil all over. Okay, so you already have the recommended product. You're asking if it's safe to spray. So let's see. It's been 2 weeks. It's probably safe to spray on the weeds, or not the weeds, the grass that's germinated since September 30th, because what are we now? We are going into almost 6 weeks since then. So you're probably safe on those. For the weeds for the seed that you just put down, the first part or the middle of October, I don't know that. I mean, if you put any kind of herbicide on those, you're probably going to hurt those. So it's always a trade-off, right? You have to decide, if you hate the wild buttercup so much, or it's kind of getting out of hand, and you're willing to just spray it now to get rid of it. If you want to do that, that's fine. But just know that there's no free lunches. I guess what I'm trying to say. If you put that herbicide down, there's a chance that it's going to hurt whatever seed you're trying to germinate, because even though herbicides say that they are safe for your particular type of grass, for example, you guys know that I like Spectracide and like Image for nutsedge. Even though those are safe for, like, say, warmer season grasses, what you can find is that you are going to see just a slight discoloration, like when you put those down. So for brand new grass, you can do it, but just realize that you're probably you're probably going to hurt the fresh growth, that new seed that you just put in. So it's kind of a balancing act. If getting the lawn to thicken up and get that seed to come in is more important to you, I'd hold off. If getting rid of the weeds, if they're getting out of hand, is more important to you, then spray. And you can always, I mean, you can always put seed down again after, but it just depends on what your priority is. Great question though, and that really applies to anything, guys. When it comes to compare trying to get new growth versus controlling weeds, unless you are like spot spraying. Like if you're just spot spraying the weeds, fine. But if you're trying to do like a broadcast herbicide application, you're really, you're rolling the dice as far as how well your grass is going to recover from that. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Russell's got a question. Let's see. Josh, thank you so much for who's at the super chat? Josh, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really, really appreciate it. Josh kicking it off tonight with the super chat. Awesome.
Super chat received.
Thanks so much. Hey, Princess Cut Lawn Care in the house, man. Thank you. Thanks for chiming in. Hey, man, and I have not forgotten, George, about getting you that image. I was looking through my email today. I know I need to get you that picture. I will get it to you. Josh, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly do appreciate it. And I will get that to you. So yeah, and looking forward to tuning into the live stream on, I think it's Sunday, right, George? So yeah, I'll definitely chime in and see how that goes along. All right, so we got a question here from Russell M. He says, I've got a bare spot about 3 feet in diameter. Given the time of year, should I wait till spring to address? Now, Russell, I'm not sure what kind of grass you're dealing with, but the fact that you're mentioning waiting until spring, I'm assuming that it's a warm season grass of some sort. So yes, I would probably wait until the spring. At this point, we are so close to going into dormancy. I mean, we're starting to get like temperatures in the 40s in the evening sometimes here in Georgia. So I don't know where you are. I mean, if you are like in Florida or maybe southern Alabama, some of southern Louisiana, so you're near the Gulf, where it's going to stay warm for a little bit longer, maybe. But really, just realize that putting any warm season grass seed down now, like a Bermuda grass seed, you're not really giving it a lot of time to get established and get strong before frost hits, which is going to stress it. So if you're using an inexpensive seed, like if you're using something you got from like Home Depot, like you just want to get it to fill in, that's that's not as big a deal. I got a little less heartburn about that. But if you're using a more expensive cultivar, something like an RN15 or Princess 70 something you pay a lot of money for, I would wait until spring. So hope that helps. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but again, I don't see grass seed can be very expensive, so I don't want you to waste money. Bermuda Boss in the house. Hey man, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for coming on the live stream. Really appreciate it. So who we got here? We got Edward, Bonet, Marvin, Alan. Alan's always in. Let's see. Alan comments about the previous question on spraying the weeded area. He said he sprayed the weed area of his 7,000 square foot lawn again. He's getting them down before spring when I oversee with RN15. Cool. So that's an option too. See, so what Alan is saying also is a viable approach as well. So let's say you're really trying to get the lawn as in good a shape as possible so that the spring you can hit it hard, and you're willing to sacrifice now, like you're willing to sacrifice maybe some discoloration and your current grass not looking as good because you're going into dormancy. Spraying a herbicide might be a way to go, but it's just something. It's always a trade-off, right? Like for example, with me next spring, my plan is to oversee with RN15. Like that's gonna be the major project that you guys are gonna probably see. I am still toying with the idea of doing a top dress, but I haven't really haven't convinced myself of that. But there is going to be overseeding again. So in order to get the most out of that, I am not going to be applying a pre-emergent in the spring like I normally would, because I want to give myself the best possible chance for the seed to germinate. So what does that mean? It means I'm gonna have to deal with some weeds more than likely, right? So it's always a balancing act. There's no free lunch, unfortunately, when it comes to lawn care when you're trying to do something cool with your lawn. Great point. Thanks for chiming in, Alan. Edward Bonet with the super chat.
Super chat received.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the generosity. Appreciate the support. Okay, let's see. So we are down to Chris. Let's see what Chris's question is. Chris Balducci. Awesome name. Sounds like someone that should be like on The Sopranos. Chris Balducci. That's my name. His question is, I put down a pre-emergent at the beginning of October, is it okay to put it down again, being that the weather has not been super cold on a consistent basis, or should I be okay? So for pre-emergent, if you're using a quality pre-emergent, I mean, even I'm trying to think of even a bad one that you could be using that would wear off that quickly. I mean, none that I can think of. So if you applied the pre-emergent, you applied it at the proper rate, I wouldn't over apply it. So even something like the Spectracide, which is like I mean, I think it's a pretty good pre-emergent. That one is going to last for 4 to 5 months in ideal conditions. If you put some down in the beginning of October, there's no need to apply more pre-emergent now. It's not going to increase the effectiveness. Now, if you went through and I mean, you probably wouldn't aerate at this point, but if you aerated your lawn, let's say in between the first pre-emergent application in early October, yes, then doing another one probably still probably a little early, but doing another one at some point would probably not be a bad idea. But just for the sake of improved weed control, I wouldn't do it. I don't think I don't think there's going to be really any benefit to it of adding more at this point. So hope that helps. Great question though. Great question. Okay, so LG chiming in. LG's always got to hit me with the hard questions. He says, so here we go. So LG says, hi, Ron, what are your thoughts on adjusting pH of water used to apply lawn nutrients? I hear some lawn guys are using citric acid to adjust the pH of their water prior to applying iron, etc. Awesome question. So I will tell you that I got this question from LG you guys know when I do the post ahead of time, but these live stream, letting you guys know when it's going to be, and then it's going to be a thing on Friday night. LG put this one to me yesterday. So I started looking into it and researching it. So I appreciate you getting on the live stream and asking it, because I actually put some research into getting you a good answer. So if you think about our soil, right, the ideal soil pH for our turf grasses, typically we want a pH somewhere between 5.8 up into the low sevens, right? If you look at tap water, you figure that tap water has a pH typically in the range of around 7.5. The theory is that you add some citric acid to it, you're lowering the pH of the water, you're lowering the alkalinity of the water to bring it closer into the range of what we want the soil to be, so that when we're putting down like our irons or our micronutrients or anything else, that you could get some additional benefit out of it. And there is some theory, there's some truth to that. So I did quite a bit of research and on this subject, and most of what I came across really points to this being a technique that you'll see the most benefit out of if you're doing hydroponics. So if you're doing like soilless growing, if you're trying to grow plants without growing them in the soil, then that is where you'll see a bigger difference. So in addition to like doing the research, I found a really good paper on it, a really good article on it, and I actually reached out to a horticulturist on the topic, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, listen. So I've got this question. It's something that I don't personally think is going to make a big difference, but that you chime in and let me know." Because his article was saying, it was talking about all the benefits of using citric acid to adjust water pH. But he said, listen, for soil, if you're dealing with like actual turf grass or something you're actually growing in dirt, you think about it, we're putting 3 to 4 gallons of water over 3 to 4,000 square feet on our lawns whenever we're applying product. It's just simply not enough to make a material difference. Now, in theory, like, if it does it make a difference? Yes. I mean, because anything that you apply to your lawn, even in a minuscule amount, does make a difference. Does it make a big enough difference that it's worth doing? Probably not. And he confirmed that as well. He said, soil pH, when you're dealing with dirt, is something that takes a while to adjust. You think about it, our typical ways of adjusting pH are to use like a lime to raise it, or to use like a some kind of a sulfate to lower it if it's too high. And that, even with that, we're using something that's a lot more concentrated. It takes a while to do that. It takes a while for the levels to adjust. It could take months or even years for you to make big shifts in your pH levels. So using when you take that approach, you think of it from that perspective, like 4 gallons of citric acid mixed with whatever you're applying in a backpack sprayer isn't going to make a material difference. If you are dealing with sandy soil, it tends to be easier to make soil pH adjustments in sandier soil than it does clay soil. But again, we're talking about 3 to 4 gallons of water over 3 to 4,000 square feet. Probably not. You're not going to see a material difference. In other words, if you're thinking that if you're going to see like a greener result from your iron application by applying some citric acid, mixing citric acid in with the water, it's not really likely to happen. So try it out. It's not going to hurt, but it's just something to consider. And one thing I will say with citric acid, you have to be really careful because it is an acid. If you put too much, in other words, if you go too strong, you can actually damage the grass or any plants you're putting it on. Like if you do some research on this subject on Google, you'll see tons of images where they show that even when you apply it at the proper rate, there is some discoloration. Like it tends to turn the leaves of whatever you're applying it to temporarily white. It basically, you lose some of the deep green in it. So even if you do it right, you're looking at some potential discoloration. So just something to keep in mind. Awesome question. I love the question because it's something I hadn't considered before. Made me do some research, and hopefully that's the answer. I think if I understood the question right, I think this is a hopefully gives you the answer to your question. Thanks for chiming in, LG. I really appreciate it. I hope everything is well with you up there in the Midwest. Russell M chiming in with the super chat. Thank you so much,
Super
Russell.
chat received.
I really appreciate it, man. I don't know about being the man. I just spent a whole lot of time messing with my lawn and, answering you guys' questions. I want to give you guys the best questions as possible. So here's the thing. You guys think that when you guys are on this live stream that I'm helping you guys out, which on some level I am, but in many ways you're also helping me out. Like all these questions give me research topics, gives me ideas for content, gives me, just makes me better at serving you guys at creating better content. So it's a great thing that we're doing here. I really enjoy it. So I, really appreciate the questions. Even when you guys stump me, which happens pretty often, I still appreciate the questions. So it's that's pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your evening to hang out with me. Let's see what other questions do we have here. Ricky asked a question. He says, random question: what is your backstory in lawn care? Formal education, hobbyist? I am more of a hobbyist. I don't have like formalized training in lawn care. I have read read the Bermuda Bible, because I mean, if you're dealing with Bermuda, you want to make sure you're giving it what it wants and giving it the best possible care. But I mean, a lot of what I learned is from trial and error, from reading online, from researching topics, that kind of thing. So if you remember, the channel has really grown quite a bit this year. But if you go back to my channel, I've been making videos since 2000, I think regularly since 2017. I have to look back and see 2016, 2017. So a while. It's just now that the channel is really starting to get some traction. But yeah, to answer your question, Ricky, I do not have a formalized background in horticulture or in growing stuff out of dirt, but I spend quite a bit of time weekly just doing research and trying to get better at it, and answering your questions and reaching out to manufacturers of different products, trying to ask them why their product works the way it does and what's the benefits of it. A good example, like whenever I went to Site One, and the gentleman there, I told him the problem I was trying to solve. I wanted to improve soil health. I wanted to try to get away from always having to put like fertilizers in the soil to get things to grow better, right? And he says, well, there's this great product we have, the CarbonPro G, CarbonPro L, the liquid product, the one that I did a video on, I think last Monday. You guys should have seen it. And he said, this is a great product. It's very well received, works really well. And so I looked over the product, I looked over the ingredients, and I realized there's a whole lot of stuff on here that I have no idea what it means. So before I go out and I buy this, and more importantly, before I make a video of it recommending it to you guys, I actually called Lesco. I said, hey, so you guys have like Mobile EX on here. You have all these different things. Explain to me, like, what was your thoughts behind how you guys created this product? What problem are you trying to solve? And why should we be using it in our lawn? So you'd be surprised by reaching out to manufacturers of products. I mean, as long as you're not trying to get trade secrets, obviously. They'll talk your ear off. They're more than happy to talk about their products and fill you in. So by doing things like that, Ricky, is how I learned the little bit that I know about lawn care and able to share with you guys. So hope that helps. Hope that helps. Rayon checking in, man. Thanks for chiming in, man. I appreciate it. Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with everybody. This is going well tonight. So let's see. Next question. Taylor Bronner chimes in. He says, Ron, have you ever used a dethatch or scarifier? I see a lot of dead grass in the lawn and wonder if it might help. You see a lot of dead grass in my lawn, or just in like lawns in general? I have not used a dethatcher or a scarifier per se, like the kind that goes on a reel mower, kind of like what the Alletts have, like the ones that kind of do like a scratching type thing. What I have done is I have verticut the lawn, which in many ways is a more aggressive version of dethatching and scarification. So that I did that. Not last year. Was it 2018? I did it. I've got a video on it. I'll actually find the video here and I'll post it for you guys. But I did dethatch. I did get verticut my lawn, And I honestly didn't like the results too much. I mean, or I should say this: it thins out the lawn. It does do what it says. Like, and I took up a ton of material out of the lawn as far as just thinning it out. But as far as the lawn benefiting from it and growing in nicer, or just seeing a big benefit, I personally didn't see it. Now, you remember, there are benefits to scarification and dethatching, and it's a very big thing from what I understand overseas, like in the UK or like in other places where you have to be licensed to apply a lot of the products we use in our lawns. Actually, I'm going to put this here: verticut video, so you'll have that here, so you can check that out. Taylor, there. So there's a two-part series. You can see one when it gets done and also the results of it. But in places where, again, you can't just go and just buy fertilizer. You can't go and just buy PGRs and buy a lot of the products that we have access to here in the United States, because a lot overseas you have to be licensed a lot of time to be able to buy those things. They tend to take a more organic approach. So scarification, dethatching, those types of things to help improve turf grass performance naturally is more of a thing. And there are benefits to it. I'm not saying that it's pointless to do that. I think there are a lot of benefits to it. But it's not something that I have personally seen a lot of benefit out of the time that I did it. And also, I don't own a dethatcher. I don't own a tool to do that. Like, none of my mowers have the ability to swap the cartridges. So that means I'd either have to be paying someone to come out and do it, or renting a piece of equipment to do it. And because when I had it done, I didn't see me personally didn't see a huge benefit to it. I just haven't really gone back. It's something I'll probably consider doing next year, though, because thinning out the canopy is something that will likely help with the overseeding that I want to do next year. So that's something that you'll probably see. Verticutting will probably be something that I do next year, just not because of a lot of the things that you're saying as far as like getting rid of thatch, but more so because I want to thin out the canopy to give the seed that I'm going to put down the best chance for germination. Awesome question, man. Thank you so much. Hopefully that was a good response. LG, I'm glad the response was useful, man. I'm glad I put some work into your answer, because I know you are. I know you're going to fact check me, so I want to make sure that I give you the best possible answers. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. All right, Moro Marcelio asks a question: can we still treat fungus issues on common Bermuda this late in the season? I don't see why not. Moro, I don't. I mean, I'm sure someone will chime in and say why, but I mean, because you're targeting two different things, right? So when you're dealing with a fungicide, especially the ones that aren't trying to like necessarily kill or get rid of the fungus that's actually actively growing on the plant, but more so trying to kill fungus that's in the soil, like stuff that's gonna become a problem down the road. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you would not be able to treat that now. So I forget where you told me I think you're in Georgia too. So we are setting this. The weather is starting to get a little cooler, so the fungus should be less of an issue. But if you've not put something down, if you've not put down something like a Caravan G or a Headway G, I would have no issues with doing that now. I would personally still do it. So if you have any concerns about fungus in your lawn, yeah, then by all means go for it. I mean, because again, the two things you don't want to mess around with when it comes to your lawn are lawn fungus and things like grub worms or beetles, because when by the time you find them, they've already done quite a bit of damage that takes a while to repair. So your lawn's gonna look unsightly while you try and get rid of them. So if you have any inklings that there might be an issue with lawn fungus, yeah, get something down. So if you want a product, I'll tell you what you can use here. So if you want something that is strictly a fungicide, we can go with this. This is Headway G. This one has 2 active ingredients. If you're looking for something that's a combination insecticide and fungicide, you could use Caravan G, which is the one that I personally like, because I feel like you get a little bit more money, more value out of it for your lawn care overall, in that you get an insecticide, so you're taking care of the beetles to an extent, but you're also to grub worms, but you're also adding a fungicide too. So assuming that the lawn fungus you're dealing with is one that Caravan G is effective against, then by all means. So there you go. I put both those links in there. So if you're looking for one, by all means, check that out. But yeah, I see no issue with doing that now. Let's see what other questions we have here. Okay, Princess Lawn Cut here hit me with a question. Let's see what we got. He says, Ron, from what I remember, your Greensmaster has a Subaru engine. What are your thoughts on the Subaru engine? My golf course mechanic told me they can be finicky compared to the Kawasaki engine. Okay, so I've never worked on a mower with a Kawasaki engine. I will tell you this though: the 2 mowers that I have, my True Cut And thanks before I answer your question, Rayon, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. I really appreciate it.
Super chat received.
Thanks for it. I appreciate the generosity. Thank you so much. So I have two mowers, my True Cut, which has the Honda engine, and the Greensmaster, which has the Subaru engine. I can tell you I've owned the Greensmaster now going on 4 years. And as long as I have remembered to put the choke on, there's never been a time, not one time, when I have pulled that handle and the mower has not started the first time. Not one time with the True Cut. It starts up all the time. Super reliable. The Subaru, it's not. I mean, it's not bad, but there's been a couple of times where I've had to give it like 2 pulls to start. So take that for what you may. I mean, is the Subaru engine, from what just me using, just comparing the two, is the Subaru as good as the Honda engine from a standpoint of ease of starting? My answer would be no. But also remember too, with the Subaru engine, it's also designed to work in a different way too, because like you start up the True Cut, it's like you're starting up a battle cruiser, man. That thing is loud. It's like when you start up that Honda GX engine. I mean, it makes some noise, and it's a really good engine, but it's loud. You look at the Subaru, on the other hand, now you're talking about an engine that is designed or tuned to be very, very quiet. So you never know. Maybe in how Toro has them set up from Subaru, perhaps that can compromise how easy they are to start, or the finickiness of them, or those things along those lines. Because it is a very, very, very quiet engine. Like I can mow at 7 in the morning with the Toro. I'm not going to wake up my neighbors. I wouldn't do that with the Greensmaster. I'm sorry, with the True Cut, because of how loud it is. So I don't know the Kawasaki engines. I don't know how finicky those are, but I can tell you that from my experience, the Subaru engine is not as reliable as the Honda engine in my True Cut. So I didn't really answer your question, but hopefully it gives you an idea that there are better engines than the Subaru. So hope that helps. Hopefully you're not having problems with yours. And mine is going to go in for service here soon, probably next month. I'm going to be going in and taking it in for service. So awesome. Oh, Josh R, awesome question. Fastest soil test. So Josh, if you are looking, the soil test that I recommend, and as far as when you say fastest, as far as getting results back, the one that I like is this one from a company called MySoil. So it's a super, super, super easy soil test kit to use. When you order it, you get a registration card, so you can register the kit online. You get an envelope, and you get this. You get the deionized water, which contains their ion exchange resin. And what that is like a synthetic root. Go through, you get the scooper, you take some samples from around your lawn, you throw them in this, mail it out, and literally I've done several soil tests, and from the time I mail it to the time I have my results back, it's typically less than a week. And they are all the way in Washington. So you can see where this is going to. It's going all the way to Washington, and I'm in Georgia. So it's going like all the way across the country, and they still get the results turned around really, really quickly. If you are looking for a soil test, the one that you can get one right there. So if you go to ron-henry.com/soil test, I'll actually put a link here in the description. So I make it in the chat. So I'll make it super, super easy for you, because I aim to please. I know I've got this here somewhere. There we go. Yep. So yeah, if you go here, this is where you can get one. Soil test. That'll take you to MySoil. So some of the things you're going to see on their website, actually, I can show you what you're going to get when you go there. Where is Safari? All right. So if we go over to here, move over, and I take you guys to MySoil testing. So we go to MySoil, and we go to their shop. There's a couple of things you can look at. So there's the soil test kit, the one that I was just showing you, that is $29, $30. Or you can get the 2-pack, which this is actually, I personally think the Pro Pack, this one here in the middle, is the best deal, because you get 2 soil test kits and you get one of these guys, which these things are awesome. As far as being able to easily get your sample, the probe that you get in that kit is really good. And it's like it on its own, the probe is like $35 what they charge for it. And it's really well made. You're not going to break this. It's really, really well put together. So if I were going to choose one, I would get the Pro Pack that has the 2 test kits and the probe. So hope that helps. I know I went on a little small rant there, but it's I'm a huge fan of soil testing. Like it's one of the most important things you can do for getting like awesome grass. Like get good soil, get a good mower, and cut all the time, and you're gonna get good grass. That's the That's the secret sauce. So awesome question, Josh. Hopefully that helps with you. Hope that's what you're looking for. And if not, just chime in. I'm sure I'll see any follow up questions you have. Happy to go into more detail if you would like. Matthew McFarland Simon says, great content, Ron. Just started following you a couple of months ago, new to the Bermuda and learning a lot. Awesome. Thank you so much, Matthew. I really appreciate it. Always like getting new subscribers and followers. And if you guys, again, when I put those videos out, even if you look at the old content, I still get notifications on some of that older content that I did earlier this year and even from years ago. So if you go through my catalog, through my library, you'll see there's tons of content out there that I've tried to put together in some usable playlists that you can go through that will, if you have questions, I'll get notifications and I'll answer. And if you do put a message in on a video and I haven't answered within a day, feel free to email me. My email address is ron@ron-henry.com. Josh R, if you ever decide and get a soil test kit, if you want somebody to look over your results when you get them back and give you some product recommendations, and the best way to go approach fixing whatever is deficient in your soil, feel free to email me, man. That's what it's there for. So drop me an email and I will help you guys out in any way I can. See, I've only got like 11, like just under 12,000 subscribers. If the channel gets really, really big, it's going to be more of a challenge. So take advantage of it now while I can still do it. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Ricky has a question. He says, any suggestions on dealing with neighbors who have tons of weeds putting pressure on your lawn? How do we best prevent intrusion? And what if they have Bermuda and we have cool season? So if you have a cool season grass, Ricky, and they have Bermuda and you're trying to prevent the Bermuda from growing in, I got this question last week. There is a selective herbicide, I think Tenacity, which is safe for cool season grass, but is not so good for Bermuda that is actively growing. Like it's not, I don't know if it's actually designed or actually labeled for controlling Bermuda, but it will suppress Bermuda. It'll definitely knock it back. So you could use Tenacity. That's a good product. I'll work on getting a link here and I'll throw it up for you. But if you go to do my own or do your own or on Amazon, let's see if I can find it here for you. I'll put that in the chat here in a second. That's a product you can use. If you are going to spray that though, here's what I would say. On the line between you and your neighbor, make sure you're using like a piece of cardboard or something between you and them, because you don't want to accidentally spray this stuff on their lawn and kill their grass. So you want to make sure you're only putting it on the line of demarcation that is going to, it's going to help keep the Bermuda away. It's also going to help with weeds. And then Tenacity, if memory serves me, is also has pre-emergent properties too. So it's a really good product. It's both a pre and a post-emergent for cool season grasses. You really wouldn't want to spray that on a warm season grass unless it's dormant. But yeah, for what you're describing, it will fit the bill. And I'll work on getting a link here for you, and I'll post that in chat, Ricky. Awesome question. Just remember to use cardboard. Don't kill your neighbor's grass. Not fun. All right, Jose, moving on. We have Jose. He says, what are your thoughts on a Toro Greensmaster 1600, around $1,400 with 1,000 hours of golf course maintained? I mean, that's a good price. That's a really good price. 1,000 hours. That's not a ton. It depends on how well it was taken care of, right? So if you're saying that a golf course had it and they took really good care of it, and it's one that maybe they had and it's coming off lease and they're just trying to get rid of it, it could be a good deal. I mean, even if you figure, even at $1,400, that's I'd have to know also what year it is, if it's one of the newer ones or not. All those things kind of factor in. But if the mower you're talking about, it's been serviced, it's been sharpened, it's got fresh belts on it, then yeah, $1,400, man, is a good deal. That's almost a steal for a solid Greensmaster, because as long as those things are in check, like the engine's good and the belts are all in good shape, so you're not going to have to deal with like a belt replacement. You should be good to go. And then also make sure that if you decide to move forward with it, that they service it prior to doing that. You don't want to go get it and have to go out and take the reel in for sharpening, or the Bedknife in for sharpening. I mean, you could ask and see how much life is left on the reel and the Bedknife, but I mean, at $1,400, having to replace that at some point is really just kind of par for the course, given that you're getting, I mean, what's really brand new, like a $13,000 lawnmower for $1,400. So there's going to be some concessions there somewhere, but I mean, overall, yeah, I think it's probably good. Without even seeing it, it sounds like it's a good deal, assuming the mower is in good condition. So hope that helps. And if you decide to go move forward with it, I think you will enjoy it, man. A Greensmaster is an awesome bit of kit. They cut awesome. A little more finicky than a true cut, but it's a really, 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 really good mower. Let's see. Taylor is saying in his own lawn. I forgot what context is that. What are you saying, Taylor? I must have missed what that means. But if it's something, if you ask me a question, feel free to chime in. Let's see, Sunny Bermuda. Hey man, thanks for chiming in, Sunny. Sunny's also a great warm season grass. I think Sunny is a Tifway 419, and he is firmly opposed to overseeding. And you know, I get it because his lawn actually looks really, really good, and there's really no reason to overseed it. It looks pretty awesome. So, yeah, thanks, Sunny, for chiming in, for stepping in and saying hi. Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, so John D kind of Matthew and John are both have points kind of to follow up on your question about mowers. Matthew says, "Hey, I understand that real mowers are the best for super low cuts. I spent a few grand on a zero turn Toro. Still possible to get really good cuts with your low cuts with your riding mower. Depends what you define as low. Like if your lawn is level, if your lawn is like, so you're dealing with a relatively flat lawn, and you've also top dressed it so there's not like a lot of ruts and things for the zero turn to go into, you might be able to get that down to like an inch and a quarter, maybe. You know, you might be able to get it that low. I mean, I know some sports fields they cut them with rotary mowers, but those are like pool table flat, right? So you can get away with it. So a lot of it is going to depend on your lawn, Matthew. If you're dealing with any kind of a slope or any kind of like if you look at my lawn, if you're looking at it from the patio out, it's almost like it looks flat, but it's almost like towards the end, it's almost like a bowl sort of. So in those areas where the lawn kind of contours up, or that they do for purposes of keeping water off my neighbor's lawn, like all the lawns in my neighborhood are done that way. Like in that situation, cutting super low with a wide zero turn is probably going to create some scalping. So just something to keep in mind. I would you know, just depends what you're after. I mean, and here's the thing: even if it can cut low, you're not going to get the same look that you get out of a greens mower or a real mower. It's the way they cut the grass, and the fact they can cut lower and cut more evenly, and they also can stripe better because you have that roller. It's just it's not just the fact that it's a real mower; it's the way it cuts the grass and also the roller that goes along with it, and just like all these things, like all these little things, add up to an amazing quality of cut. But with that, they're expensive and more expensive. You know, to maintain them, there's maintenance work on them is a little bit higher, but again, like everything, is a trade-off. So just chime in, I guess, a little later on. Let me know what kind of lawn you're dealing with, and I can hopefully this helps answer your question. But yeah, the long short of it is, depending on your lawn, you can go low, but you might get into some scalping. All right. Let's see. Yeah, John D says, yeah, any mower is worthless with a bad bed knife and or reel. It would cost more to fix. Yeah, so that's the thing. So you know, you want to make sure that 1400 Greensmaster, you want to make sure that there's plenty of life on that bed knife, plenty of life on the reel. And if there's not, see what they would do. See if they would be willing to change it for you. Even if you have to pay them, because honestly, paying them to do it is probably going to be cheaper than taking it to a place that services mowers and have them do it, because they're going to be able to buy the parts probably at a better price than what you can buy them. And you know, if they're willing to do that, then you know, even if you end up paying, you know, you end up at $2,000 or whatever it happens to be, that's still a better price, a better deal, because now you're starting with really a fresh mower at that point. So just something to keep in mind. And guys, speaking of mowers and getting mower service, on Monday, or hopefully Monday if work permits, my schedule permits, Monday of next week, I'm going to be going down to I think it's Real Works in Beaufort to meet with them and check out their facility. I'm gonna bring my camera down there and shoot some footage. So it'll probably take me, probably won't be till the following week till you guys actually see the video, but that's something I'm doing early next week. So it should be fun. You guys can see like how they do what they do, and I'll be able to ask them like what mowers they service. So I'll be able to, a lot of you guys that are looking for real mowers, when you ask the question, where can I get it taken care of in the Northeast Georgia area, I'll be able to give you a better answer, because I'm actually going to go see a place that specializes in that early next week. So it should be fun. Should be a fun one, just as a segue. Let's see. Yeah, so Sunny chimes in and says you should be shocked how much debris is in a Bermuda lawn. The Scarifier cartridge can really clean the lawn. Yeah, absolutely. I believe it, Sunny. And you know, with you, a situation like you where you have a that have those interchangeable cartridges with your Allett, then yeah, why not? I mean, if you have the tool to do it, then sure, absolutely do it. Definitely. But for me, I don't know that I'm gonna go out and buy just a Scarifier just for that purpose, because one, I don't have anywhere to put it, and two, when I did it, I didn't see a huge benefit but I am not saying that there's nothing to it, because overseas that's a huge thing. Like in the UK, everybody scarifies their lawns that are serious about having a nice lawn. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? 3 second 7 platoon is chiming in. He's saying that in Florida, Bermuda is beautiful. We don't have winter in Florida, so that's good. That's pretty good. We got the only one and only Mr. X chiming in. Glad you're here, sir. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What other questions do we have? Working some flower beds. Great show information. Leon, thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoy the channel and the information. And guys, here's the thing too. You guys have my email address. I mean, if there's content that you guys want to see, or something that some other experiments you guys want me to run, feel free to let me know. I mean, during the fall now, where we're getting into the grass going into dormancy, there are less like viable experiments that I can run, because the grass is about to turn brown. So it's not like, if you're just trying to say, hey, will this fertilizer make the grass greener? Right now, probably not, right? Because the grass is trying to go to sleep. But I'm trying to put together a more controls and a better planned schedule for next year. So if you guys have any cool ideas, let me know, and I'll definitely take them under advisement and make some content on it. If it's something that's gonna help you guys out, then we'd be absolutely doing it. So awesome. Let's see what else. Congrats, Sonny, on hitting the 500 mark. So you hitting 500 subscriber mark, if so, or 500 view mark. Either way, congratulations. That's pretty awesome. Congrats. Keep going. Keep going. All right. So we have another question here from Chas Bishop. He says, "Hi, Ron. On the shady side of my lawn, I've noticed that my soil is black. Any idea what's happening in that area of my lawn? By the way, I have Bermuda grass." Huh. So it's black. So you're seeing it's darker than other parts of your lawn. I mean, if it's really shady, are you sure you don't have any kind of like a moss issue, perhaps? I'm trying to think what else it could possibly be. I mean, here's the thing. The way to know what's going on with that part of your lawn is to do a soil test. I mean, now you said your only concern is that there's more shade. If the grass is growing fine there, like if your Bermuda is growing fine in that area, then I mean, if it's dark soil, it's dark soil, no big deal, right? But if you're having issues with growth, and the soil is discolored, looks a lot different in color than the rest of your lawn, it might be worth doing it is worth definitely doing a soil test to just find out what's going on with that area. If the grass isn't growing properly, one, with it being shaded, Bermuda doesn't like shade. So that's depending on how much shade we're talking about here. If it's much more than actually, I'll answer it a different way. If you are not getting at least 6 hours of direct sunlight every day, Bermuda is going to have a hard time doing well. So your lawn and what you're getting, and if that's not the case, that could be some of the issue you're having. But if you want to try a soil test, so we can examine it, make sure that there's not something funky going on with that part of your lawn. Pick one up there. Just put it up on the screen. ron-henry.com/soil test, and let's see what's going on there. But yeah, I don't know why the color is darker, why it's blacker. Again, it could be like if you're sure you don't have moss. I'm not sure what's happening with the soil without like having some test results to actually look at. So sorry, I couldn't be more help on that one. But if your Bermuda is not growing nicely in the shade, it's because it's Bermuda and it doesn't like shade. So hopefully that helps. All right, so Scott O'Hare is chiming in. He says he put down some CarbonPro G last week, and I'm loving the results. Thanks for the recommendation. Awesome, man. Awesome, Scott. I love to hear that. CarbonPro G is an awesome product, man. Like, you talk about something that you can do, like one of the best things you can do for your lawn, outside of getting a soil test and making sure that the soil is healthy. Like adding carbon, especially like CarbonPro G, is an awesome product. I'm a huge believer in it because, I remember when I first made the video on it. And I was talking about like how much I really like the product. I caught some flack because people were saying, well, what's the point? It doesn't have any NPK in it. You can go out and get, there's all these other carbon fertilizers that have carbon, and they also have NPK. And my point was, yeah, exactly. So you can't put them down all the time. The nice thing with CarbonPro G, because it's essentially from a standpoint of influencing your macronutrients, it's inert. It's not going to really change your nitrogen, potassium, or phosphorus. But it's literally, that biochar and compost and that microbial package. Literally, all you're doing is feeding the soil. So whether you got cool season grass, warm season grass, doesn't really matter. you can apply it, and you can apply it year round. I mean, I actually spoke with Miramichi Green about it and asked them. I said, hey, if I did this in the winter time, can you do it in the winter? And I said, yeah. I mean, you can apply it. The microbes aren't going to do very much during the winter. And they wouldn't necessarily recommend applying it to like frozen ground. Like you want to be able to apply it to soil that is not like rock hard, but there's not any negative to applying it year round. Literally, it's something that takes a while to build up in your soil. So awesome, Scott. Awesome. Glad that you are seeing some good results with the product. I too am seeing good results with it, and I'm going to continue to use it because next year, man, next year I want the lawn to be epic, and getting more carbon in the lawn is a good thing, right? All right. Moro asks an awesome question. He says, why or when should we consider overseeding? When or why? Okay, so I can tell you as far as my story behind overseeding, the reason why I overseeded my lawn, and if I knew now what I knew then, I don't know necessarily that I would. I don't necessarily regret overseeding, but I would have tried to solve the problem a different way. In my case, I overseeded whenever I had a couple of trees removed, and whenever the sod that was put in to replace it, it didn't match my Tifway 419, even though it was supposed to be Tifway 419. So I did some research into different grass seeds or different ways of trying to get the color to blend, and what I ended up doing was deciding to go for it and overseed the lawn with at the time was Princess 77. So now I know that the correct way of doing that, like if you're fixing a patch in your lawn and you want the grass to match perfectly, the best way to do that is to take plugs from other parts of your lawn, plug that area, and be patient and let it grow in and spread organically. And you're going to get that way. You would definitely get a perfect match, right? But so in a situation where so in my case, that's why I overseeded. I was trying to get an even color in the line. And overall, I've gotten a lot better. Like the area where that tree used to be, you can barely see it now. So for my purposes or for my goal, I got a lot out of overseeding. So when should you consider doing it? If you don't like your grass, right? If you don't like your particular Bermuda cultivar and you're not willing to kill the grass, and you want to get better color, better drought tolerance, better cool season performance, overseeding is something you can do. Here's the thing though, you have to keep in mind. Like Bermuda is a very, very tenacious type of grass. Like the idea that you're gonna put down Princess 77 or Arden 15 on your Bermuda existing lawn, and it's going to choke out the existing Bermuda and it's going to become the dominant grass is not really a thing. What you will end up with is kind of like what you see in a lot of cool season lawns. Like if you go to Home Depot and you buy the cool season grass, or their seed blends, it'll have some rye in there, it'll have some tall fescue, and maybe a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass as well. So you have a little bit of those mixed in, and what you get is a hybrid lawn that has an even color once the grass grows in. But in your case, when you overseed, the one thing that you have to be prepared for is there are going to be some color differences. So part of why I'm doing that series on comparing Bermuda grass dormancy of Tifway 419 compared to RN15 is to answer this very question. So if you've not been following the content, look at the series that I'm filming this fall. I think I released a new video Wednesday that talks about that, where I'm documenting, showing you the different color differences between Tifway 419 and a hybrid seed like Arden 15. So you can decide. You can decide, hey, the color differences or the shade of color differences, are they something I can deal with? Because they're visually there is a difference in color when the grass is starting to grow in. Like especially the first year, you are going to see color differences. Or is it a situation where I'm going to take the plunge, I'm going to torch my entire lawn, and I'm going to replace my existing grass with a new type of Bermuda. So if you want the most even color, the fastest, I'd say, yeah, the fastest, the most even color with the fastest results as quickly as possible, the best approach is in the springtime to kill your existing grass. And then you kill your existing grass, rake it out, and put down the seed of the grass you're trying to grow. That way, you're going to get a more even color, more consistent color as quickly as possible. If you don't want to do that, you can overseed, but just know that there are going to be some slight color differences, especially when the lawn is coming out of dormancy and when the lawn is going into dormancy, because that's when you really see the benefits of those grass types. When the weather's really cool, is when you'll really see the color differences between like a Tifway 419 or a common Bermuda and one of the higher end Bermuda grass types. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Moro. Awesome. great question. But and again, I am a fan of it. I'm going to do it again next year. But just know what you're signing up for when you do it. That's the only thing I would say. Let's see, Marshall. Quick question. He says, actually, before I get to Marshall, Matthew, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support.
Super chat received.
Matt, thank you so much. Sorry you had to go so quickly, but thank you so much for the support. All right, so that's what happens when I scroll. Now I've lost my spot. No, here we go. We're back. Marshall says, hey, nice to see you, bro. How many times have you leveled your lawn since you started the golf course lawn journey? 3 times fully, Marshall. So my lawn has been leveled 3 times in full. And then it's been spot top dressed like pretty much every year. There's a few key areas every year that I'll pick, and I'll just put like a few bags of sand down and work that in. But typically, as far as the entire lawn, 3 times. And you guys got to see one of those times in completion when you saw the Fix My Ugly Lawn series with Alex. When we did Alex's lawn, we top dressed his lawn. I also got some sand and redid the back part of my lawn and my entire front lawn. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. The front lawn came out really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. The back lawn could use with another top dressing maybe next year, but I'm really happy with how the front lawn's looking. So, but to answer your question, 3 times. And it's something and that's a good point, because when it comes to top dressing, realize it's not a one and done type thing. Like, if you use 100% sand, it's going to last longer. But as the lawn gets wear and tear from people like being on it, you running your mower over it, rainwater being on it and washing and moving soil around, the lawn is going to slowly lose the evenness or that pool table look that you get right after top dressing. So top dressing is something you should look at that really every other year you're probably going to want to do it. I'd say every other year to every 3 years, you're going to want to do probably a full top dress if you're really hardcore and you want your lawn to look as good as possible. But just doing spot top dressing throughout the season works really well too. And it's something that I've done that is less of a financial commitment, less of a time commitment, and you still get pretty good results with it. So thanks for the question. Awesome question. LG Ron says, he says, how many blades are on my reel? I think I have the 8-blade reel model LG. I think they make 2 they make 2 types of blades, or 2 reel types for that particular mower. I think there's an 11 blade and an 8 blade, and I have the one that's lower. I'm almost positive I have the 8-blade reel on my Greensmaster. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Thank you so much. Thanks for it. Well, how many are on yours? Because I know you have a Greensmaster 1000. Do you also have the 8-blade reel, or did you get the 11-blade reel? I'll check out your comment once you write back. Marshall, awesome. You have a Swardman. Good mowers. Again, I got it. Oh, that's not the wrong comment. Awesome mowers. I want to try one out myself. I hear good things about them. Everyone that has one of those only has good things to say about it. So I'm sure you really enjoy it. And again, thank you, Matthew, for chiming in. And yeah, feel free to email me if you have any additional questions. I'm not sure if you've left us yet, but yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email here at ron@ron-henry.com. That's my email address, and I will answer your question as soon as I possibly can. All right. Wind Chariot says, moss issues, any suggestions? It gets worse this time of year. So a couple of things, Wind Chariot. If your pH levels of your soil are very low, that can contribute to you having a problem with moss. Another thing that can have a problem that can help contribute with moss issues are if you're dealing with a heavily shaded area and you're dealing with an area where water settles. So let's step through each one of those. If you've got an issue where you've got like standing water and in a heavily shaded area, those are 2 things we need to fix. We either need to make the area less shaded, or we need to do something about the drainage so that water doesn't stand there, because you're going to have moss problems, or you're creating conditions that make it easier for moss to do well. If those things are not the case, so you've got good drainage and you've got plenty of sunlight in that area, the next thing for us to look at is the soil pH, right? So I want to make sure that that's good, that we're not excessively low. And if you've got all 3 of those, so that we know the soil is good, we know we got good drainage, and we're getting plenty of sunlight, the next thing is you could use a herbicide to kill targets moss. A good one is one from Scott's called Moss X. Let me find it here for you. I will. You can get it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Amazon. Let me look here. I'll get you a link to it. Actually, let me pull it up here and I'll show you first. Moss EX. Yeah, this one right here. Perfect. Yep. So let me switch over to that on the camera and show you guys that. Let's see here, and here we go. So this is a product that you can use that you might be able to get at your local Home Depot, but you can definitely get it on Amazon. This is a product that will kill moss. So, but again, this is the last thing that I want. This is the last thing I'd want us to do. I want to make sure that we're doing all of the hard stuff, like all the hardware. We want to fix the hardware before we start using something that's going to target it. That's the more of the easy way out. So, because here's the problem: if you've got like a drainage issue, your soil isn't where it needs to be, the moss is just going to come back. So, this is a product you can use. It's a good one. It's pretty effective. If you're looking for a link for it, I will set that here. So let's see, Moss X, this one, and then I think LG is going to chime in. I think there's some salt. There's a sulfate, as LG is also saying, that will also kill moss. But there you go. That's the if you want something that's designed for that, that's a great option. So hopefully that helps. Great question. Yeah, moss. It's getting cooler, and this time of year. So LG asked a question. He says, "What was the cost to rent the Dingo and Top Dresser?" So the entire package. Oh, I want to say it was just under $700. So that's the Dingo, the aerator, and the top dressing machine, and the trailer to pull it all. So the trailer, all that was like one package, and I want to say it was just under $700, and Alex and I split it. So that's, I mean, all things considered, that's actually not bad, because you figure to top dress. I'll give you an example. To top dress my lawn, the first time I did it, it was like $2,100. So it's not cheap to pay someone to top dress your lawn. And we top dressed two lawns, for less than that. So because I think all in between the sand and the equipment rental, we were just at like $1,100, almost $1,200, and we did two lawns. So that's, Alex's lawn is, I want to say, it's like 6,000, 7,000 square feet. My lawn is like 12,000 square feet. So we did almost 20,000 square feet of lawn for $1,200, and our time and pain and suffering. But yeah, but I mean, you're looking at LG around $700 for that entire package, including the trailer. If you don't need a trailer, it's probably a little bit less. But hopefully that translates to your area. But now you have an idea of what you can expect to pay for that. So great question. Good question. I guess you're thinking or about the idea or trying to start scoping out the pricing of doing a top dressing job next year. That would be cool. All right, Rayon Moore says, "Hey, are you planning on buying a drone to start giving us some aerial shots of your lawn at least next season?" I'm thinking about it. I have thought about it. I think DJI is supposed to release an updated drone here soon. I have to check and see. They may have done it already, but I know there was some words in the video content creators forums that they're supposed to be coming out with a new drone. Here's the thing with drone content. Like I know like who does a lot of that. I think Ryan does some of that. It looks really cool. But you have to be very tasteful with that kind of thing. So it's like I'm considering getting one because I think they'd be cool to add some more flair to the content. But it's something that it can be very easily overdone. So yeah. But yeah, it's a great point, Rayon. Thanks for bringing it up. I am considering it. I'm waiting for DJI to release their new drone. So I'm getting one that matches my other cameras, because all the content I shoot is in 4K. So I want a good an improved 4K camera on the drone that can hopefully also shoot in log, so that whenever I match the footage up, it's easier to grade it and all the colors look the same and everything like that. So probably more of an answer than you wanted, but yeah, I want to make sure that the production part of it is easier for me by adding a drone. But yeah, it'd be cool, be a cool addition to help. Let's see. Sunny asked a question. Ron, what did you ever do with your side flower beds that wrap around back? In your last video, it looks like you mulched it. Yes, that's exactly what happened, Sunny. So because I like cutting grass, but I really hate like working on shrubs or flower beds, my entire lawn, or all the beds that would normally be filled with like plants for most people, are just mulch now. So it's all mulch. Yeah, because I don't like doing that kind of stuff. Actually, I still need to trim that one out front. I need to do it. I know you guys are gonna start giving me crap over having that one shrub in the front lawn looking crazy. But yeah, I just don't like. It's not my thing. I don't like doing it, so that's why I just mulched it all. So it's less for me to headache. All I have to do is just spray Roundup on it, just to kill any weeds that try and grow in there. But yeah, good eye, good catch, good catch. Bermuda boss, thanks for checking in, man. No worries. Let's see what else we have. Chaz. Too much iron. That's a good point. Grace says, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Too much iron, too much iron can turn your will temporarily turn your grass like dark purplish to almost black. It shouldn't turn your soil dark or black like for long periods of time. But again, kind of going back to what we were talking about here, you may need to look into that. Get a soil test and see what's going on for us so that you can, we're intelligently fixing whatever is going on with your lawn. And guys, if you guys are enjoying the content, feel free to punish that like button. It sends good vibes to the YouTube algorithm, lets them know that, hey, on this Friday night, when, so much of the nation is really, stressed out, we are having a great time here on the live stream. We're talking about lawn care stuff. We're getting our lawns in order. Granted, those of us with our warm season grasses, we're starting to look at brown grass, but hey, we're having a great time on the live stream. So if you guys wouldn't mind, hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? Commander Poppin' Fresh says he put down, I had Bermuda sod installed in August. Could I put pre-emergent down in late winter? Okay, so you had it installed in August. Can you put it down in late winter? Yes. So August, let me think. August, September, October, November, December. Yeah. So let's give it 5 months. Honestly, you're probably fine to do it now because Bermuda is not one of these grasses that is that you're likely to hurt or damage with a rate pre-emergent application. So don't go super heavy. If you apply pre-emergent at rate, you're very unlikely to hurt Bermuda because it's just so tenacious. But yeah, let's just give it some time. Commander Poppin' Fresh. Let's say the end of the year. So let's say New Year's Day, that first week of January. If you want to put down a pre-emergent on your, to control weeds for your lawn, then by all means, yeah, do it then. And then also when we get around towards early spring, like say late March, early April, then you could apply another pre-emergent, do another pre-emergent application if you're going to do one. What would I recommend? You could use a liquid. A liquid would probably work well. Or if you're looking for one that is going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit easier on fresh sod, use that Spectracide, the one that that granular one that I always that I recommend quite a bit. Let me get you a link to that. Let me see. This one here. So this one is a it's a selective post emergent, so it's a selective herbicide, so it'll kill weeds that are currently growing, and it's also got dithiopyr as the pre-emergent that is in it, and it'll work well, but it's not one that's going to it'll work super quickly because it's a grounder. It's gonna take a little while to break down. If you decide to go forward with that Spectracide, the one I just put in chat, the one trick to applying it is you want to do it when the grass or the turf is wet, or so it has something to stick to. At least when you're trying to use it to control weeds. If you're doing it in the middle of winter, the Bermuda is going to be dormant anyway. So really, the only thing is if you're dealing with weeds and you're trying to kill weeds that are currently growing in your lawn, you want to make sure those weeds are wet. So either early in the morning when there's dew on the lawn, or if you can run irrigation for a few minutes just to get them wet and then apply the product, and then stay off of it for 24 hours. Keep pets off of it, kids off of it, stay off of it for 24 hours, and you'll be good to go as far as controlling those weeds. And because it's a granular, it's going to take a little bit longer to break down. So it's a smoother, easier pre-emergent as far as like stressing the grass. But again, for Bermuda, doesn't really matter as much. Bermuda is really it's a really tough grass type. You're very unlikely to hurt it with a pre-emergent. But great question, and congrats on the new lawn installation. Bermuda is pretty awesome stuff. So I'm glad to hear you guys just put it in August. Let's see. GJ Kid says he has an appointment with grubs that skunks were digging holes everywhere, but he trapped them and relocated them. Put down a bunch of grub X as an insect repellent. Good job, DJ Kid. It sounds like you got a good plan there, and it's working well for you. Let's see. Russell chiming in again. He says, having a hard time finding a real mower on Marketplace or Craigslist could be my search skills. Any other suggestions or dealers in Georgia? No dealers in Birmingham. Okay, so a good place to find a used or pre-owned reel mower, or someone to ask where you can find a good pre-owned reel mower, is look into, if you've tried Craigslist, you've tried Facebook Marketplace, you've tried OfferUp, and you're not finding any good deals there, look into or call any local shops that service reel mowers. Oftentimes they'll either have something that they took in that they're going to have for sale, or they can call you up whenever they get something in that's going to be for sale. And the nice thing about getting one from one of them is you know that it's going to be serviced, going to be sharpened, it's going to be in good shape. So that's another option. I know people that have done that and have gotten really, really good results. But just keep looking, man. Especially if you're in the South, finding a reel mower, depending on what you're looking for, I know what you're looking for. If you're looking for like a true cut or something that's very common, you should be able to find one of those. I mean, if you're going new, there's all kinds of options. You can get them at like Howard Brothers. If you have one near you, they carry True Cut. Keystone in Duluth, Georgia carries True Cut. But if you're looking for something pre-owned, again, Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. If there's no hits there, look to calling someone in your area that services greens mowers or reel mowers and ask to them. And that's a good question. That's a great question. That's something I will ask ReelWorks when I go and see them early next week about, as far as their recommendations on where you can find a good pre-owned mower. Sometimes they may even have some for sale. So if I find out something cool, I'll share it with you guys on the live stream next week. That's something for me to share with you next week, definitely, for sure. Great question, because a reel mower is a big investment, and you definitely want to make sure you get a good one. So I get why you are spending some time really looking to make sure you get a good one there, Russell. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the question. Sonny's chiming in. He's saying that the black soil, he gets black soil on his lawn on the north side of his house. He says it's basically mold on compacted soil. Spray with moss out and then rake out and scarify out. So there you go. There you go. You got an answer. See, this is the thing, guys. Sometimes when you ask a question, and even if I don't know the answer to it, if some of the other lawn care YouTubers are hanging out, they may be dealing exactly with what you're dealing with. They'll be able to offer a response. So that what Sonny said makes absolute sense. So give that a shot. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Russell has another question. He says, do you trim with a string trimmer or something like rotary scissors? I use a string trimmer. I don't really have that many hard edges. I mean, outside of like Alex's lawn, like his fence line, and the area around the rock, I don't have a ton of areas that I actually need to use a string trimmer on. Like around the mailbox, I have to use it, but there's not like a ton. There's like just a few places. Getting a rotary scissors is something that I've considered getting, but then I got to buy another head for it. So it's just like yet another thing. And I honestly don't know that I would use it that much. That's why I haven't gotten one this season. But to answer your question, I use a string trimmer primarily because I don't have a lot of areas that really require that kind of attention. But great question. And to be completely honest, a string trimmer, I mean, the rotary scissors would do a better job, would produce a cleaner cut, but they're also kind of expensive. And again, for me not really using it that much, it's kind of hard for me to pull the trigger on picking one of those up. But great question. Let's see. DJ Kid's saying, yeah, he's glad he bought that Honda mower. It works great. I'm truly happy with it. Thanks again. Yeah, man. Any mower, I mean, Honda makes a really good rotary mower, and they make a really, really good engine on the reel mowers. So as far as a rotary, if you're gonna buy a Honda, you're gonna have some good success with it. They make a quality product. So glad that the recommendation is working out well for you. Awesome. Let's see. Oh yeah. So LG says, so Toro makes a 8-blade, 11-blade, and 14-blade reels. Do you have an 8-blade? Yeah. Same thing, LG. I have the 11-blade. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, one of you guys that are Greensmaster, masters of the greens mower, I believe the higher blade count is really something you only want whenever you're mowing at much lower heights. If you're actually mowing a green with it, or if you're mowing consistently below ½ inch, that's where getting like an 11-blade reel or a 14-blade reel make a little bit more sense. But for me, where I'm mowing, for Bermuda, kind of a little bit on the higher side, I'm mowing like 0.7, somewhere around there. The 8-blade reel works really well. So I think it's really only when you start getting down to really low heights is when the 11 and 14 blade make sense. So yes, we have the same one, which is cool. Awesome. Thanks for chiming in. Marshall, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the thank you for the support. I really appreciate it.
Super chat received.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see other questions. Let's see. So yeah, so I've got the response from LG on the Toro, and we have a question from REG. So not LG, now we have REG or Regi. He says, Ron, is it too late in the year for humic acid and kelp treatment? No. We had a bit of a warm spell here in Toronto, and I was recently thinking about it. Yes, so there's no, it's not a problem at all, Re, because remember when you're putting those products down, you are feeding the soil. You're trying to improve. You're just trying to improve the health of the soil, and really that's something that you can do for the most part year round. Whenever you're dealing with a product, say the product you're trying to apply, if it has like some iron in it, or has like a fertilizer that is designed to help the turf grass, to help with green up and that kind of thing. When it's really cold is probably not the best time to do it. If the grass is not actively growing, not a great time to do it, because that aspect of the product you're not going to get a lot of benefit out of, right? Because if it's not actively growing. But as far as sea kelp, humic acids, yeah, you can do that stuff at any time, because again, you're not really targeting the grass, the plant, so much as you're targeting the soil. And as long as the soil is not frozen, so that it'll actually absorb it what you're putting down. Yeah, you're good to go. In my case, I'm going to be applying CarbonPro G again throughout the fall, throughout the winter. The liquid, if I can catch some warm days here and there, I'll also apply the liquid, the CarbonPro L. As you guys saw, like last week, I applied CarbonPro L, which is a kind of like what you're talking about. It's got some humic acids in it. It's got the kelp, and I did that a week and a half ago. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely no problems at all. Re, again, if the ground is not frozen, yes. If it is frozen, I probably wouldn't do it. But outside of that, yeah, go for it. Awesome. All right. PK trying to, he says, Swardman or Allett? They used to be partners, and Swardman split and made their own company, hence Swardman Mowers now. I don't know. That's a question for someone that has a Swordsman or an Allett. They're both great mowers. I'll tell you, if you want my personal opinion, I kind of like the look of the Allett more than the Swordsman. The Swordsman kind of looks like a spaceship. It's cool looking mower, but the Allett is more your traditional real mower. The Allett looks very British. It looks very like just so, like, and especially if you ever want something that's super entertaining, like get on YouTube and look up one of the Allett commercials, like when one of their like the Allett guys are talking about the mower. It's like the amount of pride and they have whenever they're describing their product. It's really, really fun. So I can't really offer an opinion outside of that. The Allett is a really cool mower. It has interchangeable cartridges. The Swordsman does too. Of the two, I think the Allett looks cooler, but it just depends on what you're after, man. I think here's the thing: you're probably going to get a great cut with either one of them. The way you should choose is figure out in your area if when it breaks, because it will break eventually. When it breaks, which one can you get parts for easier? That's what I would use as the tiebreakers as to which one you go with. Both mowers are going to do a great job. Pick the one that you can actually get service for. Awesome. So let's see what other questions we have. LG chiming in, talking about something else that will kill moss. He says a ferrous sulfate will kill moss. It's the same active ingredient in Moss X and cheaper. So there you go. So if you can get some ferrous sulfate, if you can find that product, maybe do my own or do your own has it if they carry it. That's another option for getting rid of the moss. So thanks LG for giving those other options. Good deal. Let's see here. Grace, she says, ask the question. It's a good question. Ron, do you backlap your blades? Do you backlap the blades in your real mower? So I have not this season. I have not backlapped the blades on my True Cut or my Greensmaster. And I did it one time on the True Cut, and it does make a bit of it. It does make a difference. Like the mower, it does freshen it up and gives you a nice sharp edge to cut with. But this season now, because I have two mowers that I kind of alternate in between. Like I use the Greensmaster for certain areas and the True Cut for other areas. Both mowers aren't seeing a ton of they're not seeing a ton of time, a ton of cutting time. So I've had the need to. Like both of them are still cutting really, really well. And yeah, like I actually Alex, like he was getting some work done on his mower, so he actually borrowed my mower this past week, and he commented that, man, your mower still it cuts really really good, and it was cut. I'm sorry, it was cut. It was sharpened in the beginning of the season, and it was a mower that I also used to kind of scalp the lawn slightly when I was getting ready to top dress it. So it doesn't even have the best edge on it, and it still cuts really well. So if you are cutting only grass, like you're not getting into pine straw, you're not cutting twigs and other trash with your mower, and you're keeping it nice, and you're only cutting grass with it, you can get by with, if anything, if you're cutting very often, backlapping once per season, or just not at all. You can simply get your mower freshened up at the start of the season and just run it until the end of the season. You'll know when the mower needs to be sharpened, because it will, I won't say it'll start tearing the grass, but with the true cut, you can actually hear it in the engine. Like the note when the mower is sharp, the note of the engine never changes whenever I'm cutting, regardless of how much grass I'm going over. When it begins to get dull, you'll start to hear the engine labor a little bit more. So that's one way I can know, just by the way the sound of the mower is running, and also by how the grass looks. But to answer your question, I have not backlapped either mowers this year. And typically I don't do it because I've not had a need to. I'm really, really disciplined about not cutting stuff other than grass with my mower. So the blade tends to stay, the edge, the Bedknife tends to stay in pretty good shape. But there is something to be said for that. Like people that cut golf greens, like they do that every day, but they're also cutting at much lower heights. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Um, the wind chart says, thanks, Ron. Drainage is the problem. Japanese maple tree drip line. Yeah. So there you go, man. So if you could find out a way if we could figure out a way to fix that drainage, that's going to help a lot. Because again, really, you want to fix the problem. You want to fix the underlying problem that's contributing to the issue. Like I always say, like, I'm a computer person, so the hardware problem versus trying to patch it, just trying to put stuff on top of it to try and mask it. Let's fix whatever is mechanically wrong with the lawn, and then you may not even need to use any kind of product on it. And if you do, you'll have to use it once, and it'll take care of the problem, and the stuff will be a lot less likely to come back. So. Awesome, man. Thank you. Glad to know that I was on the right track with what I was telling you. LG was like, ouch on the price of the dingo and top dresser. I don't know, man. Dude, if you ever top dress a lawn manually, it is really not that bad. Like that top dressing machine is money. The amount of time that it saves, and as far as the ease of use and the evenness of the product application you get, is totally worth it. Totally worth it. And so you'll get a better results, less time, less pain. Yeah. And you can't look at it as necessarily, you can, but you can't necessarily look at it as what it costs to rent the equipment. You have to say, if I were to pay someone to do this to get the similar results, what would it cost me? Because whenever someone comes you pay someone to top dress your lawn, they're going to use that equipment, and they're going to charge you at least twice as much. In the case of, some of the people around here, 3 times as much. So if you look at it from that point, so you're actually comparing apples to apples, the rental cost is really not that bad. Let's see. LG says, I'm thinking about forking over $6,500 to buy my own top dresser. Impossible to find in my area. Dude, I would like to have a top dresser. If I had a place to put one and I could get one for less than $6,500, that's kind of steep. It'd be worth it, man. I would put this way. If I had one, I would top dress my lawn more often than I do. I definitely would. I mean, my lawn would look like a pool table. Then you guys, then the Ron Henry channel would literally be the Ron Henry top dressing channel. Like every other video would be about, hey guys, guess what I'm doing today? Top dressing the lawn again. So yeah, there is, if you can swing getting one, yeah, and you have a place to put it, they do make a difference in how the quality of the top dressing job you get. So something to consider. Tiffany, thanks for chiming in. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on and watching the channel and supporting the content. I really appreciate it. And keep going with your content. I was watching some of your videos on some of the stuff you're doing with your lawn. Just keep at it, man. It's don't keep uploading and keep making content. Because people are watching. Even when you think they're not watching, they're watching. Let's see. Sunny says DJ launched the Mini this week. I'm looking to. Yeah, see. I don't need more hardware, man. But yeah, whenever they come out with a new, I didn't look at the specs of the Mini. If it's what I'm looking for as far as like the color grading and the options that it has as far as video, I might swing for it for next season. So we'll see. Some drone footage would be kind of cool, right? All right, so we have a question here from Javarik King. He says, next season I will seed my backyard, 5,000 square feet, with Yukon, which you've already purchased. Awesome. However, I'm undecided about the front lawn. You have 1.5 1,500 square feet. You've narrowed it down to sodding with Tiff Tough, Zoysia, or Yukon seed. Thoughts, opinion. Mm, I would probably do both, man. I would if you're doing Yukon in the back, I would probably do Yukon in the front. Personally, if it's me, that's what I would do. Unless there's a compelling reason to put down something else, like the Zoysia. I mean, Zoysia's a pretty grass, but it's not going to. It's also more finicky than Bermuda. So that's one thing people don't realize. Zoysia is really nice to look at, but it's you have to be a lot more careful with it. And as far as just product applications, right? So you're putting down like if you're putting down like any herbicides or pre-emergence or PGR, like having the same grass type in the back and the front is going to make that easier. Like if you do, because I know for a good example, like the rate for Tifway 419 for T-Nex, if memory serves me, is 0.38 ounces per thousand square feet. For Zoysia, it's 0.25. So if you're putting down, and let's assume that Yukon is the same thing. So we can do the same rate that we use for Tiff Tough that we can for Yukon. Now, if you're really trying to get max regulation, now you're doing one backpack sprayer for the Yukon, doing another backpack sprayer for the Zoysia. So it's just kind of a headache. It's something else you got to consider. Like when you're putting products on the lawn, there is that too. So if it were me, I would do the same in both. I would do Yukon up front and Yukon in the back. That would be my thing. That would be my that is the route I would go. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. What else do we have here? Um Marshall says it's the weekly question. Someone always asks it. He says, "Would you ever consider overseeding with a cool season grass like rye, so you can mow all year round? All year round." That sounds horrible to me, Marshall. The idea of having to mow during the wintertime. So no, I wouldn't. For me, no, I wouldn't do that because the primary reason, two reasons. One, I don't like cold weather, so I don't want to be out there mowing when it's 30, 40 degrees outside, or even 50 degrees. It's kind of borderline, but I just don't want to be out in the cold weather having to mow my lawn. And then second, I don't like the way whenever the lawn is completely rye, it looks good. But whenever you have that transition period, like when the lawn is going, primarily when it's coming out of dormancy, so the Bermuda is falling off and the rye is growing in, and vice versa. In the spring, the rye is falling off, the Bermuda is coming in. It looks unsightly. It doesn't look very good because rye, texture-wise and color-wise, looks very different from Bermuda. And from a standpoint of products that you can apply to the grass types, they tend to be different, right? So, like, good example, like Tenacity is very bad on Bermuda. It's bad on a warm season grass. I believe it works just fine on rye, right? So it's a good example where you literally have a product that will work great for your cool season grass, but but it will kill or severely stunt your warm season grass. So that's another reason why I'm not a fan of that, because you have to be a lot more meticulous, a lot more careful about what products you apply, because what's good for cool season isn't good for warm season and vice versa. And I don't want to mow in the wintertime because I don't like cold weather. So truth be known, that's the real reason why, but I have to give you like some more, scientific reasons, but really I don't like cold weather and I don't want to have to mow all the time. All right. Sonny, thanks for jumping in, man. Appreciate you chiming in and coming by to visit. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Any thoughts on jumping on the Bluemuda bandwagon? What, pray tell, is Bluemuda? Is it like Kentucky bluegrass? And what is Bluemuda? It's let's see. I have to look into it. So no, I might have to look into find out what it is. Princess George. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I'll have to look into it. It sounds like some other cultivar that I'm gonna have to overseed or my lawn with, or rip out my current grass and doing that. I'll look into it, I'll get back with you. Maybe something I'll talk about whenever I can get on your live stream. Maybe we'll something I can bring up. I'll do some research. But my initial answer right now is probably no, because I've got a lot of time invested into my Frankenstein lawn that I have now, I'm quite fond of. So I'm not really thrilled about the idea of ripping it all out and putting something else in. But we'll see. I have to find out what Bluemuda is all about, and you never know. Maybe it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and we'll see. All right. Armando Fernandez asks the question that I can never answer without making somebody mad: which blower is the best? So, As far as blowers go, I'm probably not the best person to ask that, because the one that I have is the blower that is part of my Still combi system. So I have that system from Still, where you have the power head and you have the interchangeable, like you can put the string trimmer on, you can put the edger on, you can put like the shrubber on. My shrubber doesn't get very much use, obviously. And that's what and there's also a blower attachment. So that's what I used as a blower on my lawn. I know Still makes some really, really good blowers. So depending on what you're looking for, whether you want like a backpack one, so like one of the bigger, heavier duty units, um, that might be something you have to look at. I mean, as far as brands go, I know Still is a very good brand. It's a commercial brand. They tend to be a little more expensive, but they're designed for lawn care professionals. So the reason why I went with a Still for my combi system, because I think Echo makes a combi system too, is that the thing with me is I don't like to have issues with stuff. I am a huge believer in the buy once, cry once. So it's a little bit more money, it's gonna be a little more expensive, but it's going to work. And outside of just regular maintenance, I'm not gonna have issues with it. So uh, as far for me, just recommending, not being a person that has owned a lot of blowers, I would say the ones from Still are going to be really good. They're probably going to be a little more on the expensive side though. But yeah, you can check out BYD, check out Bermuda Grass Central, because he does lawn care professionally. He does it for a living, and I think he uses Still blowers, but he's probably done some reviews on blowers. And he'll probably be able to weigh in more better with a better answer than I am. The one that I have on my combi system works really well. So if all you're looking for something that's kind of for a regular residential lawn, and for knocking off like pavements after you've done edging, great. If you're dealing with a lot of trees where you have a lot of leaves that you need to move, it's probably not going to be enough for you. So depending on what you're looking for, that's going to kind of dictate. But yeah, check out BYD's channel. Check out a Bermuda Grass Central. He does this stuff, and he'll probably have some blower content that will better answer your question. But thanks for chiming in. Great question. And yeah, thanks for the question. Okay, Robert Ruffin says, okay, hey Ron, I did a soil test on 4 different areas of my lawn. The front pH is 6.3, good. Buffer pH 7.5. Phosphorus 54. The potassium is 184. The other tests were pH 6.2, 6.1, 5.8, 7.90. Okay, Robert. So do me a favor. I'm having a little difficult time interpreting the results like this in real time. If you wouldn't mind, sir, I'm going to answer your question, but send me an email with a picture, with an image. Take a picture with your iPhone or your whatever, like your camera phone, of the soil test results. Send those to me and I'll look over them, and I will give you an answer as what I think, and as far as like what I would recommend we do for your Bermuda lawn. A pH of 6.3 is right in the ballpark, man. That's like the sweet spot. So if you're there, we're looking good. But send me the entire soil test. I'll look at it, and I'll be able to give you a better answer. It's just kind of hard to make out exactly what to recommend to you. Just reading that, it'd be easier just to actually see the soil test. So sorry, I can't give you a better answer, but I will give you one if you email me the soil test results. You said the only thing you did different was you leveled with sand and added lime to the front lawn. Could that result in the lower levels? Adding lime. Well, adding lime should raise your pH, not lower it. If you've heavily fertilized the lawns, if you've used a fertilizer that depending on the fertilizer you're using, like that, nitrogen fertilizers have the side effect of lowering pH over time. So depending on the fertilizer that you use whenever you level the lawn, that could be some of what you're dealing with. Depending on how much soil you brought in, that could be influencing it. It's kind of hard to say. Send me those soil test results. I'll look at it. But lime should have raised your pH levels, not lowered them. What can I do to correct lower levels? If they're low, add lime. That will help bring them up. But again, once I get those results from you, again, email me here, ron@ron-henry.com. Send them there, and I'll look at them, and then we'll get you all squared away. I promise I'll take care of you. Just send me those results so I can look at them in detail. I don't want to give you like a 30-second answer to something so serious, because you got to buy products to fix it, and I don't want to recommend something that's not correct for your soil. All right. Lamont Smith, hey Ron, do you have a manual reel mower you recommend? I'm looking to buy a good one. Actually, yeah. So it's funny. I have, my Scott's 20-inch, the one that I mentioned. If you look at some of my old content, there's some videos of me using my Scott's, a 20-inch Scott's reel mower to mow my entire lawn. And the friend of mine that I loaned it to, he's going to be moving. So today, he brought my 20-inch Scott's back to me. So it's actually sitting in the garage. So if you guys want, I will do like an updated video, an updated review of the Scott's 20-inch manual reel mower for you guys. There's not a whole lot to cut right now, and it actually doesn't go quite low enough to cut my lawn at its current height, but it'd still be cool for a walk around. But yes, to answer your question, Lamont, the one that I would recommend is a 20-inch from Scott's. It's a little bit heavier than the 16-inch, and it's a little bit more rugged than the Fiskars. So I've tried the 16-inch and the 20-inch. The 20-inch does a much better job as far as producing a better cut because of the weight doesn't bounce around quite as much. That is the one that I would recommend, the Scott's 20-inch. You should be able to pick that up if you want, I can give you a link on Amazon if you feel like buying it over Amazon. But pretty much every Home Depot is going to have those in stock. You should be able to get one at Home Depot or Lowe's. But if you can't, let me know and I'll give you a link on Amazon where you can pick one up, because that's what I would go with. And just for fun, I actually think I am going to do that. I think I am going to do a reunited with my old Scott's, because it's sitting there in the garage. I actually got it back today. So cool question. Cool question. Princess Cut, man, thank you so much for the generosity, George. Thanks so much for the super chat.
Super chat received.
Well deserved after an awesome season. Have a drink on me. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the generosity. All right, so let's see. So yeah, Matt kind of confirms what I was saying, is that the 8 blades is the sweet spot on the Toros. Let's see what else we have here. Yep, the other guys are saying, yeah, the 14 blades are the tournament reels. The 11 blades are good for up to 0.5, 0.6 inch. The 8 blades are good for higher fairways and smooth roughs. So there you go. So for us that are trying to use these mowers on our lawns, the 8 blade is probably what you want to be using, unless you're going for super low heights of cut. So thank you for chiming in on that, George. Princess Cut Lawn Care, really appreciate it. Awesome. And A-Bear, thanks that good that you chimed in time. The question about the humic acid, you can put it down. Anything that you're putting down that is targeting the soil, assuming that it's, the soil isn't frozen, so it's just going to sit there and just not be absorbed, you can put down pretty much any time you want. Let's see. Question from Saul. A point here from Saul. He says, I live in Southern California and I have St. Augustine grass. It's starting to turn yellow as we are going into cooler temps. It's probably starting to go dormant. Is there any way I can keep the grass green during winter? I don't think so, Saul. That's a good question. I don't think so. St. Aug is a warm season grass, so they don't like cool weather. Not that I know of. If any of you guys know of a way to keep St. Aug green during winter, feel free to chime in. It depends. It depends on how cold you're getting, what your colder temps are. Some things you can do to try and keep it green a little bit longer. You can apply some iron to it, some iron to the lawn. That can help with keeping it green a little bit longer. But I mean, if it's going into dormancy, it's going into dormancy. Like, there's not going to be much you're going to be able to do if the temps fall below the threshold of where the grass is happy, unfortunately. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you, but I don't want to give you false hope. But again, if anyone else has any ideas, feel free to chime in. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Marshall's. Okay, question about where he's located. And let's see what other questions we have. So some questions back and forth here about gas mowers and Swardman. You guys are helping each other out. That's pretty awesome. So as soon as you guys have that Swardman mower, I'm going to see if I can get my hands on one this upcoming season to see what the fuss is all about. Everybody really likes them, so I'd like to see what their mowers are like. There's got to be someone in my neighborhood that has one, because there's a couple of guys around here that have real mowers. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, great question here. So Commander Poppin' Fresh, he says, what sort of issues have you had leveling or top dressing the front lawn where it's got a slope to it? So great question. When it comes to top dressing a slope, the trick is, I've done it a couple different ways. I've done it with a couple different top dressing mix types. And the thing that I find works best, the sequence that works best, is to you got to core aerate. Make sure you absolutely core aerate so you're creating those voids in the soil. So you are actually creating small little hooks almost for the top dressing to kind of hook onto, to hold onto. You want to mow the grass or keep the grass a little bit taller. So where my back lawn, I can scalp it. I can take it down to like under half an inch if I'm going to top dress, and then top dress on top of that, no problems. For the front lawn, I found that I get a better result if I allow the height of cut to be closer to an inch. The reason for that is the grass is what helps hold the top dressing mix in place, so that when you get a light rain, I'm not going to lose a ton of the mix, due being washed away. So, and as the third tip I'd give you is sand. So, if you have a choice between using a blend of river sand and topsoil, that's going to work okay. On a slope, the best result is going to come from using just 100% sand. It's denser, so it's going to stay in place a bit better. It's going to be less likely to move around whenever you get rain. So that'd be my recommendation. Again, I've done it every which way you can think of, and the best result in my case that I found, comes from making sure you do a very good aeration. I mean, like really beat the soil up, the turf up really good with that core aerator, and then use 100% river sand and top dress with the grass at about an inch, and you're going to get a better result because it's just going to hold on to the sand better. So hope that helps. And one other thing I will say is that do it over time. So whereas with the back lawn, you can go a little bit heavier, you can go right until there's just the tips of the grass coming up, or just those tips being exposed to the sand. Depending on the grade of slope you're dealing with, you may want to go a little bit lighter. You may not be able to go super heavy all in one go, because if you get you're more likely to have it wash away. So in my case, I top dressed the front lawn. I did a spot top dressing earlier in the year, and I did a full top dress in July. So I did 2 this year. So if you're really targeting a front lawn with a slope, or targeting a sloped lawn, what I would say is plan to do a couple of light top dresses over the season versus just one heavy one. You'll probably get a better result that way if you're prone to getting heavy rain in your area. If you don't get a lot of heavy rain, then you're good to go. Just go heavy, make sure you aerate, and you're good. But if you're gonna get a heavy rain, go a little lighter on that top dressing mix, because the last thing you want is to do a beautiful top dressing the lawn. It's all nice and smooth. Then a heavy rain comes and it washes it all down to the bottom and creates a big mess. So hope that helps, Commander Poppin' Fresh. Great question, and one that I actually know quite a bit about, because I've done quite a bit of experimentation on that particular topic. Let's see. I'm looking here what other questions we have. You have weeds in the lawn. Not getting poontang of no weeds, lots of poon. I'm not sure what that question is. I'm not going to put that up on the live stream. Nice try, Lane and Brady. Okay, so Danger Lawn, thanks for chiming in, man. I haven't seen you for a couple of live streams. Glad you are back. So, questions he has is, any tips on how to find someone to sharpen the reels on a Greensmaster? I've been trying for months now, and all of them tell me they only service their own machines. So, there's got to be someone in your area. When you say you're trying to find someone that's to service it, like, you're probably calling golf courses. You're probably calling golf courses to get them to do it. And yeah, they only want to service their own equipment, mainly because mainly one, they're busy, and then two, if something goes wrong, they don't want you to have to bring it back to them all the time. So I can see why golf courses don't want to take on, like, the general public's mowers. But there should be someone in your area. What you can do is try calling Toro, or finding out if there's a Toro dealer in your area. That's what I would do, Danger Lawn. I would look for a Toro dealer for lawn equipment, for power equipment, and ask them. If they won't do it, they should know. They should definitely be able to point you in the right direction as far as someone that will be able to get your Greensmaster service. See, so because the thing is, in Georgia, like around here, I guess we're just blessed because like I could take my Greensmaster to Keystone down in Duluth and they can do it. But then there's also places like Reelworks in Buford that specializes in sharpening reels of all types on all different types of mowers. So if you can find a service like that, that would be ideal. But I mean, if you're calling golf courses and they're not willing to do it, which I kind of understand, try calling a Toro. Try and finding what Toro dealer there is in your area, and see who they recommend as far as people that are authorized to work on their mowers, and you'll be able to find someone because there is someone in your area that sharpens the reels. It's just a matter of finding them. Yeah, so sorry I don't have a better answer for you. If you're in the Georgia area, the Northeast Georgia area, I can tell you a lot of people that can do it. And Peachtree mowers, um, again, Keystone, RealWorks. There's a bunch of people that can do it, but I'm not sure where you are in the country to be able to give you a better answer. But let's just call Turo and see what they come back with. Great question. Let's see. Yeah, you've been calling. You said you've been calling and emailing golf superintendents. So yeah, that might be some of the challenge because again, they're just not wanting to typically work on equipment that's not theirs. All right, Amarillo. Yeah, Amarillo, Texas. Yeah, there's got to be someone in Amarillo that'll do that mower, man. I can't believe there's no one around there that'll do it. All right, let's look for other questions here. Um, yeah, so that's a good point. So wind chair. So for the San Augustine question, check with the lawn care nut. Check Alan Haynes channel, lawn care nut, because he deals with uh St. Augustine. St. August, that's his grass type. Granted, he's in Florida, I believe, if memory serves me. I think he's in Florida right now, not California, so they don't get super cold weather there. But if anyone on the internet will know how to make St. Aug stay green in cooler weather, it's Alan. So yeah, so reach out to him, check out his channel, and see what he comes back with. People are saying put heat lamps on it. Man, do you have any idea how much power he's going to end up spending to put heat lamps on his lawn? That's going to be super, super, super expensive. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Yeah. David chiming in saying, "Saul, save your money on watching those souls temp and let the lawn go dormant." Yeah, yeah, it's just I think it's going to be a challenge, man. I mean, you can probably prolong it a bit more. Like a good example, like my lawn is Bermuda, which is a type grass type that doesn't like cold weather. It goes dormant as soon as it starts seeing cool weather. And now with all the carbon I've been applying to my lawn, with all the regular mowing, so I'm always stimulating growth and keep making sure all the levels as far as my macronutrients are exactly where they need to be. The pH is on point, and I'm doing all this stuff and my lawn is staying greener longer than the other lawns in the neighborhood. That said, like I'm looking like we got some cold weather, like a couple of days of weather in the 40s, some nights in the 40s. And today when I mowed it, it's starting to turn brown. So you can push it off. You can kind of slow the process a little bit by making sure that everything is on point with your lawn as far as the soil, all the treatments you're doing to it. But it's going to happen if the temperatures get too far outside of what that particular grass type likes. It's going to go dormant because it's just a way for it to protect itself. Let's see. Question from Marshall Wells. Have you tried any of Doc Anderson's products? No, I haven't. I didn't know that Doc did. I know he did. What's the name of the product that he does that people recommend? Like, Super Juice or something like that. I know about that one, but I didn't know that he was affiliated with Anderson's or that he does Anderson's products. So no, I have not. I personally not tried any of those products. Not that I'm opposed to them. Again, I'm not like throwing shade or anything. I'm opposed to them, but for a lot of the products from Anderson's, like their fertilizers and things like that, like I can get a lot of those things locally. And there's not like when I go to Site One or I go to Central Turf and Irrigation in Buford, like they don't carry those fertilizers. I mean, they can probably get them, but like the stuff, I'd rather just go and use a fertilizer that is a quality which an Anderson's fertilizer it's a good for fertilizer, but I don't want to have to go through the hassle of having to have them order it and bring it in and all this kind of stuff. Because I mean, one thing I can get like the Lebanon turf stuff, which is really good. That's a really, really good fertilizer. So um, I guess I don't see at this point, I don't see any need to switch away from the fertilizers that I'm currently using. I think that, I do enough. I'm getting really good results with the Lebanon turf products. And I'm getting even better results now that I've been supplementing what I've been doing in fertilization with carbon. Like that, like carbon has really made a big difference in my lawn this year, much more so than changing up fertilizers. But good question. Good question. Sadie Max in, man. It's in popping. Thanks for chiming in, Cedric. Thanks for coming in and saying hi in the live stream. Hopefully you and your family are doing well. Hopefully the lawn is doing well. I imagine your lawn's probably also starting to turn brown like mine. It's tough times, man. Tough times. But you got to give the lawn a break, right? And if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to smash the that like button. I think I'm not sure how many likes I've got. The video's gotten 35 likes. We've got 50 people in here. 50 people, and 35 likes. That ratio is off, guys. So as you guys are coming in to chime in and throw those comments in, hit that like button. It sends the good messages to YouTube and helps support the channel. I really would appreciate it. Let's see. Danger Lawn says, "Oh, you do have a Toro dealer locally, but you're saying that they directed you to a Toro Gold dealer that's 5 hours away. Yeah, that's not going to work. That is just not going to work. There's got to be someone nearby, in Amarillo that can service a Greensmaster. I refuse to believe that. Uh, Let's see here. Aber chimes in. He says, Ron, I found a McLane dealer near me. Thinking of going McLane. Thoughts? Yeah. So a perfect point, perfect segue into your question. I'll answer your question, Aber. So the issue that Danger Lawn is having now, right, where he has an amazing mower, Greensmaster is an awesome mower, but not being able to easily get it serviced or sharpened, like that is more important, honestly, than whether you get like this particular brand of mower or that particular brand of mower. Because really, all real mowers, for the most part, if they've got a roller on them and they're set up properly, are going to produce a good quality of cut. Like, a Greensmaster or a like John Deere is going to cut better than most. But for the most part, you're kind of splitting hairs. When you talk about like a McLane, so I put McLane in the same category as like a California Trimmer or a True Cut. They're all great mowers. They're all very well built mowers. And if you have a dealer nearby, the big thing with having a dealer is you can get parts for it when it breaks. Not if it breaks, when it breaks, because something on the mower is going to break eventually. Like, it's a mechanical device. Eventually, something's going to go wrong with it. So if you have a dealer nearby, if they can, if they can do all the servicing work for you, that's a big feather in the cap for the McLane. So what you might want to do too is just find out for them like what a maintenance schedule for McLane looks like. Like, what if you have to take it into them to get everything done, the oil change, real sharpen, all this kind of stuff. What are you looking at price wise? If there's a True Cut dealer nearby and they can do it, find out. You can compare apples and oranges and see, like, I save a little bit of money with a True Cut versus the McLane, or vice versa from a service standpoint. But if you have a dealer, that is a huge plus. It's a huge reason to go with that particular type of mower, because nothing worse than having a machine that you have that's a quality piece of equipment, but you can't really get parts for it or take care of it. So great question. Yeah, so some more comments. SMK, thanks for chiming in. SMK, thanks for coming in. It's on the live stream. So SMK saying, yeah, freeze perf spray will work, but don't waste your money. Just let the Sanog sleep. So yeah, everybody's kind of on the same thing. Just let it go to sleep. SMK says, hey, what up, Ron? What's up, man? How did you like the epic rainfall we had this season? Carbon supplementation and nearly 40 inches for 2020 still got us green November. Dude, it's been an awesome season. I have to tell you, like, the lawn looks better this year than it ever has. I think a lot of that is the carbon. Definitely getting a lot of rain didn't hurt. And then just the top dressing, all the work that was done to it. I think the lawn is being set up to have a really, really good 2021 season. Hopefully 2021 is better than 2020. Let's think about it. The bar, given everything that's happened this year, the bar for 2020, it being better is not that high, right? But yeah, it's been good, man. The lawn's been doing really well. It's beginning to turn now that we're getting some cooler weathers. Like, I had a couple of days there where it got down into the 40s and at night, and the lawn is starting to turn brown. So I'm probably not going to make it through November with green grass, but it's good because the update that you guys will see, not next week, but the following week, you'll be able to see the transition as the line is going into dormancy. So it's a cool catalog of content for anyone that wants to see, hey, you buy RN15, what's going to be the cool, the benefits of that as far as seeing how well it does. Oh, let's see. LG's like, for tonight's giveaway, could you please give away a bottle of Brandt Supreme Green? I'll tell you what. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'll have to see about. I'll have to see about that. because if I get the Brandt Supreme Green, I have to find a way to ship it to you too, because that that stuff is pretty heavy. Um, Something to think about. I mean, it's something I will consider doing. I'll take it under advisement. LG. Besides, here's the thing though, LG. I mean, if I do the giveaway, do you really want me to do the giveaway of the Brent Supreme Green, and then everybody chime in, and then you not win? Because I'm not saying that you won't win. 'Cause I mean, you're definitely due to win at this point. But what happens if you don't? I mean, it's gonna be you're gonna have like given somebody else like the thing that you really wanted. So. But yeah, I'll take it under advisement. It's a great idea, great suggestion. You're really not going to really be able to use the Brandt Supreme Green too much, right? Actually, that's not true. I mean, it's 9% nitrogen, so you could use that as like your spoon feeding fertilizer as your lawn is going into dormancy. But my lawn, where it is at this point, I probably wouldn't be using it. So if you have a if you're in warmer climates with a warm season grass, Brandt Supreme Green could work actually pretty well. Okay, so guys, we're getting low on questions. We might actually get out of here at a reasonable time tonight. Like last week, I said, I'm going to try and shorten the live streams, and I said because normally they're going like 2.5 hours, and it ended up being the longest one ever. So we're getting low on questions. I guess I've talked you guys out. Let's see. Saul's talking about the McLane. He says that McLane sells a backlapping kit for $50. $50 easy to do, and key leaves the blades scissors sharp. So it's a good idea. Yeah, if you want to do, if you're fine on backlapping your mower yourself, and you see a need to do that regularly, then yeah, I mean, then absolutely go for it. Let's see here. We have a question. Justin just chimed in saying, I got a soil test recently and my calcium is very high. Should I be concerned? It depends on how high is very high. Justin, if you don't mind, send me, take a picture of your soil test results or a screenshot of it if you've got them electronically. Like if you're using like the My Soil test kit, you should have them electronically, and email them to me here, ron@ron-henry.com. Send me an email with your soil test, like a picture of it, and I'll give you some suggestions of things we can do to fix it. Yeah, so that's a good that's the best way for me to help you, because anytime when it comes to um things, matters of soil test results, I want to see what the actual levels are, and I also want to see what else is going on with your soil to be able to recommend something that's going to fix. It's going to get you. It's going to overall get things moving in as much the right direction as possible. It's a difficult question to answer in a vacuum. Yep, great question. Let's see here. LG, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for the
Super chat received.
And he says, LG throws in, he says, thanks for the super chat. This was because I'm trying to win the giveaway. A container of Brandt Supreme Green would be an epic giveaway. And that can be an end of the season. Tell you what, here's what I'll do. When I get to the end of the series that I'm doing on the Bermuda grass dormancy, which will be like late November, at that point is when we can consider doing that. I have to see about getting some, and then also see about what I'm gonna be dealing with as far as shipping it somewhere. Because the product actually isn't that expensive. It's more just getting it to whoever wins is the thing I'm more concerned about. I may have to go talk to Central Turf and Irrigation and see what their thoughts are, or if they'd be willing to ship it for me. But yeah, great idea. That's kind of a big thing, so we can save that one for like an end of 2020 giveaway. That's actually a pretty good one. So yeah, so not tonight, but it will happen before the end of the season. How about that? I'll tell you that much. Great question. Great idea. SMK is like, shoot, if you're giving away some Supreme Green, I'm jumping on that one quick. Yeah, and here's the thing, for that one, I'm gonna have to come up with something like a I'm not, yeah, you know what? And the thing with that one too is I'm not going to tell you guys which live stream I'm going to do it on. That way you'll just have to keep chiming in. You never know which one it's going to be. It's going to be later on in November though. It's not going to be like next week. So if that helps you guys at all. But yeah, we will do something like that. That'd be a cool giveaway. And here's the thing though, if you get it, you can't really apply it on your lawn right now unless you got like cool season grass. So you'll be all set and good to go for 2021, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's see. Jesse Hill chimes in. He says, "Any advice on killing Poa here in Buford?" You could, yeah, sure, Jesse. So, have you tried the You guys already know what I'm probably going to say. But that for Poa, let's try that liquid spectricide. Have you tried it? You probably get it at Home Depot. Let me see if I have the product here that I can show you. Actually, I don't think spectricide will work for. That might not work for Poa. I think you may need to something like. That's a good question. I'm not sure if spectricide is actually rated for Poa. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Jesse. Let me. I'm gonna have to table that one and get you an answer next week on the live stream. This time of year, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what we can use for that. I don't know that spectricide actually will do Poa. Let me look here quickly, and I don't think it's rated. I don't think it's one of the weeds that it controls. I don't think so. I might be wrong here. I'm looking. I don't think so though. Um, yeah, I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, it does a lot of the broadleaves, but Poa isn't one of the ones listed. So you stumped me, man. I'm gonna have to take a rain check on that one and give you an answer for next week. It's a great question. And I'm sure someone else will chime in here. Let's see. We got SMK already coming in saying that negate monument revolver smokes out Poa in 1 week. Add some prints up, and it'll be dead in 3 days. So there you go. I didn't know the answer, but SMK, he's my man. He's always got my back whenever I get the question that I can't answer. Uh, so yeah, so there you go. Those are some options for getting rid of that. And now if you could now you should be able to get Monument. I'm pretty sure you can get that at Site One. I almost want to say I've seen that at Site One. So if you're in Buford, just go to Site One and they'll probably carry it. I don't know if Central Turf and Irrigation carries that, but I'm almost positive Site One will carry that one. So LG, thank you for chiming. Or sorry, SMK, thank you for chiming in, man. That's a good. Thanks for the response. Thanks for saving me there. All right. Rodimus Prime, dude, awesome handle. Thanks for making all the great content. I have a question to help out. My neighbor's lawn. Okay, I have to look further down and find out where your question is. I'm gonna come back up to your career question. A Bear, he says he sprayed too much Roundup glyphosate on his crabgrass, which damaged his Bermuda grass. Yep, that'll do it. Now he has dead grass spots all over. Any advice on a process to bring his grass back for next season? Here's the thing: it should bounce back next season. Um, it should bounce back next season. I know someone personally that did something similar to that. They sprayed glyphosate slash aka Roundup on weeds, even spot spraying it, and it torched the Bermuda for pretty much the entire season. It should bounce back, or it more than likely will bounce back next spring. But just let him know that he should never ever use Roundup on your turf grass on Bermuda ever. Like it's like the only place I ever use Roundup are in like flower beds, mulch beds, places where you don't care if the grass doesn't grow back. That's where Roundup is where you'd want to use it. Don't ever put it on grass, on your turf grass. So the nice thing is he's got Bermuda, so it's going to come back. But it'll probably be next spring, unfortunately. A Bear, the question you're asking, what is Supreme Green? Brandt Supreme Green is a liquid micronutrient that's also fertilizer. You can think of it kind of like along the lines of like I don't know. It's kind of a unique product. I was going to say it's kind of like Miramichi Green's 901C, but even it's really not. So what it is it's a liquid fertilizer that contains 9% iron in it. It contains 9% nitrogen, 9% iron, 9% nitrogen in it. Contains 5% iron, if I'm not mistaken, and it contains like some zinc, some manganese. It's like a micronutrient fertilizer that is epic. It's a really good product, and it's really not that expensive. So it's like if you were looking for a product that you could apply to your lawn, like say you have it coming over for the 4th of July, right? And you want to get the lawn, give it that extra pop, like literally a week prior to then, you could break out the Brandt Supreme Greens, put that down. It's 9% nitrogen, so it's you're not gonna burn the lawn with it, and you're gonna get a really nice color because of the iron, and you're gonna be putting some micronutrients in your lawn because of the manganese and zinc. So it's a great product. And unfortunately, the only place I've ever seen it is at Central Turf and Irrigation. I don't know why they don't market it more, or even online. It's difficult to even find online. I don't even think Do Your Own has it or carries it. So yeah, but it's a great product. So it'd be a cool product to give away because you guys see me apply it all the time. I always talk about it, and it's something like that you guys can't easily get, which is why I'm trying to not mention or not use it as much because my goal is when I show a product on the channel, and especially when it's something I'm getting really good results with, I want it to be something that you guys can get. And because Brandt Supreme Green isn't one that you can easily get, that's why you guys haven't seen me mention it as much. But I still believe in the product. It's still an awesome product. Let me get a thing here, and I have actually a video talking about it. Let me give you a link here if I can find it, a bear, so you can find out what that Supreme Green is all about. Micronutrient. Here we go. This one right here. So copy and paste. Here we go. So if you look at this URL here, this video, this is a recent video that I've done on Brandt Supreme Green. It's an awesome product. It's like really one of the best products that I really like it. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? We have Mower Mastrello says, how did you correct your high iron and manganese from one of your tools tests? I have answers. I haven't, Moro. I haven't done anything about it. I just haven't been adding any more iron in any substantial amounts. I just haven't been doing that. So the levels will fall over time on their own. I'm just not doing anything to particularly supplement or add more iron to my lawn. So the levels still are what they are. I'm just not trying to boost them anymore. Wise guy, dude. Thank you so much for chiming in, man. Thanks for the super sticker. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
Super chat received.
It's pretty it's pretty cool. Pretty cool super sticker. Good choice. Good choice. Let's see. Yep. So protamine and semazine are best for POA. So you have another person chiming in on that. So you got a couple of options for POA that Wind Chariot also came back with, along with SMK. Okay, so what other questions do we have here? He says, Jay Clark says, you're in Northern VA, you have turf type tall fescue, but I follow your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. I know it's a cool season grass that you're dealing with, but I appreciate you following the content. And here's the thing, even though I'm mainly focused on Bermuda, which is warm season, anything that I talk about as far as improving your soil health, like the carbon supplements and things like that, they still apply to you. So hopefully you're still getting some value out of it, even though the content that I talk about is primarily warm season. So good stuff. Chip Gunter, any advice on my question about moles? Okay, so if you have moles, if you're trying to get, I'm trying to see what I actually missed your question, Chip. But if the question you're asking me is about moles, the best way to get rid of moles is to get rid of their food sources. So moles will oftentimes go after grub worms, like Japanese beetles. They'll try and hunt, look for those in your soil. So if you can kill those, get rid of those, you take away their food source. That's going to go a long way towards getting rid of moles. As a matter of fact, a lot of the poisons that they have for moles actually look like grub worms. So your best bet to get rid of the moles long term is to use something like a Caravan G or like a Headway G, something that's going to target the grub worms and kill them. And by taking away their food source, they're more likely just to move on somewhere else. I wouldn't use a poison just for the worms themselves, for the moles themselves, because again, they're going to come back. I mean, unless you take away their food source, they are going to come back. And if you're looking for where you can get Headway G, which is probably of the two, actually, what am I saying? Sorry, what am I saying? Headway G, that's a fungicide. I lost my train of thought. As far as a insecticide that will take care of the grub worms, not Headway G, the Acceloprint is the one I'm thinking about. As far as that, where you can get that, I'll give you a link here below for that. Sorry guys, lost my train of thought. So get rid of the grub worms, get rid of their food source, and that will help get rid of the moles. And as far as a product, that you have two products that I can tell you that you can use for that. You can use Caravan G, which is an insecticide and fungicide. If you don't really need a fungicide and just want to focus solely on the grub worms, that other product that I just linked in chat, the Acceloprint, has a couple of different active ingredients that will that's an insecticide that will take care of grub worms, which eventually will get rid of your mole problem. So sorry for the confusion there. I was talking about Headway G, and I get them mix up. I know Syngenta's naming convention, that they tend to put G after their granulars, but it's when you're like doing a bunch of different things, it's really easy to get confused as to which product I'm referring to. But hopefully that helps. The Acceloprin is what you want to use for a long-term option for getting rid of moles on the lawn. Let's see. Tomax says, "Hey Ron, what island are you from?" So the island I am from is an island I can guarantee that probably none of you on here have ever been to. It's an island called Saint Eustatius. So if you look up, like all you guys have heard of St. Martin. So I say, have you heard of St. Martin? All you guys are probably like, yeah, we've heard of St. Martin. Have you heard of St. Kitts? Yeah, all of you guys have probably heard of St. Kitts. So if you look on the map of the Caribbean, it's like a big, if I can do it right this way, yeah, it's a big crescent shape, right? From like Puerto Rico all the way down. And so St. Martin is here, St. Kitts is here, and in between St. Martin and St. Kitts, there are two dots. There's one dot, the bigger dot is the island that I grew up on called St. Eustatius, and the smaller dot is an island called Saba, which happens to also hold like a world record for the shortest commercial runway in the world is on Saba for commercial runway. But the name of the island, I'll put it in chat here, is St. Eustatius. That is the island that I grew up on. Yeah, and that's where my parents still are. They still are today. I actually talked to my dad today, and he's down there. So yeah, that's where I'm from. If you ever get a chance to visit, enjoy. There's not a whole lot to do there though, other than hiking and swimming in beaches, and that there's like 3,000 people on the island. Literally, there's nothing to do. You'll be bored out of your mind. All right. Roberto Rivera says, "Hey Ron, I sprayed Quinclorac 75 DF yesterday on my Bermuda. Big storm with 3 days of rain coming. Should I spray it again after?" I probably wouldn't. Depends on how much rain we're talking about, man. If you spray the Quinclorac, and if you're using, I assume you're using it to target, like whatever you're using whatever weeds you're using to target with. If you're not seeing them start to die off, then maybe in a few weeks you could do another application. I wouldn't do it if you only did it a couple of days ago. If you did it yesterday, and you have a storm coming in 3 days, I would not do it for a couple of weeks. You definitely don't want to over apply the stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the label on that, but they should be able to tell you. It should list when you can reapply Quinclorac. I'm going to look here really quick on the label to see if there's any guidelines. But I mean, the long short of the answer is no. I would not do it right away again right after you get a heavy rain, especially if you just did it yesterday. So hopefully that helps. Probably not the answer you're looking for, but you don't want to put down too much herbicide on your lawn if you can help it. So, but if you want to answer, if you want to do some reading and look, and I would read it on the live stream, but and get you a better answer, but I don't want to like bore everybody for like 5 minutes while I read through it. If you're looking for the label, it is right here. And that will tell you about like how soon you can reapply it. You're probably going to be fine, man, to be completely honest. I mean, unless you're getting like a hurricane amount of rain, that's going to, like you've got like, several inches, like 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. And it's like, and your lawn is such that you're going to get a lot of runoff. It's probably going to be okay. And if it's not, I would still wait a couple of weeks before I applied it again. I wouldn't do it again right after the storm. Thanks for the question. Great question. Oh, dude, Jesse, your sister works for Do Your Own. That's awesome, man. You probably get a discount. Hopefully, you tell her to get you the friends and family discount. She could probably get you the products that they mentioned for taking care of Poa. Like she can, like the Monument or any of those. She can definitely get you that stuff, and probably at a discount. So there you go. There you go. Yep. Your sister's, yeah, how's you saying your sister's is my lawn hero. I don't know if I could deal with having a family member that worked for a lawn care or for like a lawn products company. I'd be trying to hit him up for the friends and family discount all the time. Let's see. Stan G asked the question. He says, "Hi, Ron. How many years have you been at this gating your lawns to look like a golf course? I've been following you for a while on YouTube, but not much discussion on Zoysia." So how many years have I been at it? So I'd say hardcore, like seriously, 4 years, 4 years. Actually, no, 5 years. This is season 5, so 5 years. Yeah, so 5 years was when I really started. I'm doing it for 5 years, but it's the lawn. The big change in the lawn happened after the first top dress. If you look at some of my older content, you can see what the lawn looked like when it was pretty much a weed patch. And then after getting it under control and starting to cut it with the like the push reel mower, and then getting it top dressed, you guys can see the results. And that was the big change. Like getting a top dressing job done, a proper top dressing job, made a huge difference in the overall appearance. As I've done more top dressing, like I've followed it up, it's gotten better. But it's really now I'm at the point where you're getting to, I wasn't necessarily the point of diminishing returns, but the lawn already looks really, really good. Like to my eye, when I go there and I look at it, I can see like all the flaws and things that are wrong with it. But really, just with your lawn, if you just one top dress, you're going to see a night and day difference in how well your lawn looks stand. So if you, even though I've been at it for like 5 years, it does not take 5 years to get a really good looking lawn. As a matter of fact, if you look at Alex's lawn, if you've been following the Fix My Ugly Lawn series, literally Alex's lawn, we did everything you saw there in the course of 3 months. So from a lawn that it wasn't a weed patch, but he had some problems, some weed areas, some problem areas, but we fixed everything. We transformed his lawn from a lawn that is typical for most people into what most people will consider like a golf course lawn, a great looking lawn in the space of 3 months. So you can do it really quickly, and you have the guide. It's all on YouTube now, man. You can do it all for free. Just look up the Fix My Ugly Lawn series and watch it from beginning to end, and you follow that, you're gonna get a pretty awesome lawn. But yeah, just top dress it. And the same thing applies for Zoysia. I know you got Zoysia. The same process that we followed for Bermuda will also work for Zoysia. The only thing you really want to be careful with Zoysia is your recovery is going to be a little bit longer, because Zoysia is a slower growing grass than Bermuda. And also be very, very careful with your herbicide applications. You don't want to anything that has side in it and you're putting it on Zoysia, be super careful. Because like if you have an oopsie, Zoysia is going to take a lot longer to come back from it than Bermuda is. So that's the only caveat I would say I'd say, as far as following what you see in the Fix My Ugly Lawn series and applying that to Zoysia. Let's see. Chris Gunter says, look above pre-emergent. What am I missing? Chris. I think I answered your question. If not, Chris, chime in and let me know again. Aber says you did work there. You did work in St. Eustatius, really? Hmm. Did you work for the oil? You must have. If you did work there, you probably did work for the oil storage facility. There's a big, like a big oil, like storage facility on St. Eustatius. So if you're doing work there temporarily, I imagine that's maybe what you were doing. But let me know. Let me know what work you did there when you were there. All right. Yeah, thanks, Rodimus. You're very welcome. He says, thanks for the answer and glad you like my handle. Also, since the Bermuda grass will cover, is there a need to overseed to help new growth? For Bermuda, no, not really. Not really. I mean, as a matter of like putting seed down to fill in thin areas, with Bermuda, assuming the soil is in good shape and you're getting enough sunlight, it's going to spread like wildfire. So that's, again, a lot of Bermuda doing well, and any grass for the most part doing well, is predicated on having good soil. So if your soil is in check, like you've done your soil test, you know the soil's in good shape. Once we start getting some heat again, the Bermuda should spread very nicely without needing to overseed. The reason why I overseed has nothing to do with my lawn being thin. It's more about getting an even color throughout the entire lawn. So I think overseeding to fill in thin areas is more of a cool season grass thing, not so much so for Bermuda. And I would even argue that even with a cool season grass, if the soil is in good shape, the grass should spread. It should continue to spread eventually. So just something else to consider there. Let's see. Jarvik King Javark King says, what's a good plan for battling weeds during a seeding renovation? So it's going to be some give and take. Once you, if you decide that you are going to seed, so let's say you're going to torch your current lawn, rake it out, put down new seed. Really, if you can deal with it, hand pull them. Like if the weeds are starting to get big, you can hand pull them. But really, from the time, if you're dealing with Bermuda anyway, from the time you put the seed down and you get germination, or say from the time you get germination, not from the time you put the seed down, from the time you get germination, really you want to give the grass a good 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks of active growth. You want to have cut it a couple of times to where the grass is somewhat established before you put any kind of herbicides down to start trying to control weeds. So the good thing is that as Bermuda thickens up, it becomes almost like a natural weed control because when it grows in really thick and dense, especially if you're cutting it nice and low with a real mower, like if you're cutting it at the lower heights, it becomes very, very thick and dense, which is again like a natural weed control. That will also help choke weeds out and make them, less likely to run rampant. But during that time when you got the seed down, you're trying to get it to germinate and trying to get it to go well, you kind of have to give that up. You have to, you can't have it both ways. Because if you put down a herbicide while the Bermuda is trying to germinate and grow and get established, you're likely to hurt the grass. And given the choice, I would like deal with the weeds for a couple of weeks, 6 weeks, week, a month and a half. And then once the Bermuda's good, it's nice and healthy, you can put down a herbicide, a selective herbicide to knock the weeds back. And then again, as the Bermuda gets healthier and stronger and gets thicker, you're going to have less problems with weeds. It's just going to grow in a lot denser. So just something to consider. Next spring, I fully intend to, not intend, but I fully expect to have more weeds in my lawn than I normally do because I'm not going to put down a pre-emergent because I'm planning to overseed. So just something I'm prepared for. It's something I just got to deal with if I want a good result from the overseeding project. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Princess Cut Lawn Care says you love the Caribbean food, jerk chicken, curry goat, and empanadas. Yeah, man. Yep, most definitely. I like food from the Caribbean is really good. It's a staple. Beans, rice, and chicken. That's I grew up eating that. That's like one of my go-tos. So yeah. And sweet plantain. I like sweet plantain too. All right, let's see what else we have here. SMK says NC is getting its first frost in next 2 weeks. All summer weeds will be smoked by Mother Nature. So there you go. No need to even bother about it. Oh, and David, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the generosity.
Received.
Thanks so much. He says, Ron, I heard you were an SEC professional. Security professional. Yeah, security professional. Yes. I'm an enthusiast who's a tech program managers. Any recommendations to further my EDU in security? I live in San Antonio. Yes, David, I actually do. And actually, I've gotten this question before from another viewer. If you don't mind, here's what I can do. Check out, send me an email. Email me here. I've got a video that I actually filmed for a viewer that asked me the same question about getting started in information security. And I'll link that to you. I'm trying to find it here really quickly, see if I have it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to dig it up super fast, but yeah, I'll send you that video because I'll be able to tell you exactly how to how I recommend. Actually, here we go. I found it. You are in luck, sir. So here is the link. It's so take a look at this video. This is a video like a viewer had asked me a question about getting started in the security field, in the tech field. And this is from someone that's a information security professional. Like I've done it professionally professionally in IT for almost 24, 25 years now at this point. It's crazy to me that's been that long. That video that is linked are my thoughts on the best way to become really good at this particular field. So there's your answer there. And if it's you need more questions or have more questions after that, feel free to email me right here at ron@ron-henry.com. More than happy to help out, man. So thanks so much for the question. Let's see. Giolin says, "How is this so clear for being live?" It's a very good camera, a very good lens. It's just a combination of things. So lighting, camera, and a good lens. That's the secret sauce. But mainly lighting and a good lens in the camera. That makes all the difference for a live stream. And I have a really fast internet connection. So yeah, because I'm actually streaming this in 4K, and I've got a really fast connection, which allows me to pump it out to YouTube, so it becomes their problem. And so I've got everything set up pretty well for this to work well. So I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm glad you appreciate the content, and then hopefully the fact that it's clear and hopefully the sound is also good too is going to cause you to tune in more often. And you're gonna, because my goal is to do this every week, every Friday, and I'm glad you are enjoying it, Ellen. Thanks so much. SMK has some additional wisdom about Quinclorac. He says after mid-November, it's not as effective unless you spike it in some kind of ester-based herbicide like Speed Zone. See, SMK, man, he's dropping knowledge again, man. SMK, you need to start your own YouTube channel. You know what's gonna happen. I need to get you. I mean, if you're open to it, I need to get you to come on. Once I'm on my live stream, I'm talking about. I'm starting to talk about starting doing like interviews with other people, and so it's not just me talking. And you seem to know a lot about like herbicides. I need to. If you're open to it, I need to get you on the live stream. We can do like maybe a 20-minute segment of the live stream talking about different herbicides because you know a ton about the subject, and it would be really cool to share with the viewers, and you guys can get kind of involved and you see someone else other than me. Be kind of fun. But let me know if you're interested in that. If you are, shoot me an email here, ron@ron-henry.com. If if you don't want, that's fine too. But yeah, I think you have some good knowledge that I think people could benefit from. Wise guy says Zoysia's here. Tom Wynn. Tom, how's it going, man? Thanks for checking in on the live stream. Hopefully you guys are doing well and all is well. Hopefully you're getting to still shoot some matches and stuff. That's always good. Hope the GTR is doing okay. And Jeremy, thanks for checking in, Jeremy. Conyers. And let's see, what other questions do we have? We're coming to the end, guys. We're getting close. Yeah, Marshall is talking about saying that, yeah, Bermuda pretty much spreads like a weed. And that's the thing. That's why I say, guys, I mean, for the most part, with Bermuda, there's really never a need to, at least in my opinion, there's never really a need to have to overseed Bermuda for the purposes of fixing thin areas. If the soil is in good shape, and that's a big caveat, if you have good soil, and the way you know that is by doing a soil test, if you have good soil, um, and you've got like good enough nitrogen in it, Bermuda is going to grow. It is going to spread. It's not going to be a problem. So yeah, but yeah, good point, Jake. Thanks for chiming in there, Marshall, as well. Jeremy says, what should I be applying right now? I have weeds that are active. To SMK's point, if the weeds that you have that are active are like summer weeds or like warm season weeds, they're probably going to die off here soon anyway. It depends which weeds you're dealing with. But you can use my thing to use is going to be Spectricide. I really unless I'm talking to someone that I know is going to behave and mix the herbicide at the proper rate and apply at the proper rate. I'm always leery about recommending liquid herbicides because it's so easy to overdo it and do damage to your lawn. So the of the two, Jeremy, if the weeds that you're dealing with, if you know what kind of weed you have, the two products from Spectricide, like this one, I think is a really, really good one. I'm sure SMK is going to be like, hey, this one is like, there are better ones, which I'm sure there are, but this one, this broad, selective herbicide from them is really good. It's super easy to use on your garden hose, and it has multiple. If you look here, you look at active ingredients over here on the left side, there are multiple selective herbicides that are in this. So this guy is going to knock out a ton of different types of weeds. If you look at what it controls, they say over 470 weeds. It controls a ton of different weeds here. So this is one you can probably find pretty easily. Home Depot should carry that. If not, you can also get it on Amazon. But again, it's one that I'd be shocked if you couldn't find that on the shelf at your local Home Depot. If you can't find it there for some reason and you want to get it, Jeremy, on Amazon, you can go there and you can pick it up there. Well, guys, SMK, you say he's checking out. He's leaving for the night. SMK, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. I really appreciate it. He says you got to check out. Great live stream as always. See you next time. We'll shoot you an email so we can have a Q&A. I think that's an awesome. I'm going to hold you to that, sir. I'm looking forward to getting that email. Because yeah, I want to change things up a bit. I'm sure you guys are enjoying the content as it is now, but I think having some experts in certain areas in the field, because some of the guys that are on this live stream, some of them are lawn newbies, but some of them know a lot about lawn care, and it'd be really good for you guys to be able to benefit from their knowledge in a more formal setting. So yeah, SMK, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks for reaching out. Well, guys, let's see. LG says, build a quantum computer to further your security career. Well, yeah. Now, I mean, if we build a quantum computer, if you can build if you personally can build a quantum computer, there are a lot of people in three-letter agencies who are going to want to talk to you, because there's a lot of really, really cool uses for those that that are useful. Like furthering your information security career will be the least of your least of your problems. Awesome. But guys, no. So guys, there's not going to be a giveaway tonight. I will probably do some stickers. I'll probably see Remy next week. So last week I gave away. I did the giveaway. I did the soil test kit and I did stickers. So probably next week I'm probably gonna do stickers, or maybe something else. I might be able to see about doing something else. Maybe something like maybe a hat. You know, I haven't done a hat yet, and I'll see what you guys think. Maybe you guys can weigh in and let me know what you guys think. See, there we go. So Morrow's already like, give away a hat, right? So yeah, so I was thinking about that. I have not done a hat as yet. Maybe I'll do that next week. Because I've done stickers. Maybe next week we'll do a hat, and we'll do that. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you for taking some time out of your Friday evening. I really, really appreciate hanging out with you guys for a couple of hours and answering your lawn care questions. If you have questions or something, if there's something that I didn't answer, or if I missed someone on the live stream, definitely email me here, ron@ron-henry.com. If there's a topic that you want me to cover in a future live stream, feel free to also email me there, or drop it in one of the comments of one of the YouTube videos, and I'll do some research and we'll talk about it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And Jeremy, too, when I get to like 500,000 subscribers, when they get a little bit bigger, we can see about giving away a true cut, but not quite there. Not quite there yet, guys. The channel still has to grow quite a bit for that to happen. I will see you guys next time. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And you know, don't let all the craziness that's going on in the country, you know, hurt your spirits. Just you know, stay positive and get out there and work on your lawns this weekend. You want to do something positive and make you feel good about yourself? Go work on the lawn. Until next time, guys, take care.